Hey guys, this is GamerCow. Welcome to another Touhou Lost Badge Legend run. Doing this for the new computer, so hopefully nothing breaks. If you're seeing this, it's because it's all worked out fine. But yeah, this is a new run for new computers, so we've got higher definition at this point as well, because I can actually record at 1080p. Fantastic. So hopefully it all just works out and I won't have to do any editing or anything, because I'm not cutting the files this time around, so I don't have to like spend an hour rendering, etc. And yeah, one thing I want to clarify before we start is I should have been a bit clearer about, you know, character stuff. I did say most people's first thing was going to be Reimu A. Strictly speaking, you can go with Reimu B, but you can only play Reimu when you first start this game because there is an unlock system. I kind of already have everything. You can have save files too, which is pretty great. So like I've already got everything level-wise that way, but the more levels you get from doing runs and getting experience points and whatnot, you can unlock Marisa and then Sakuya, who is going to be today's target. Cherno gets unlocked later on as well, but Cherno was not available when the game first came out, so we're going to focus on Cherno next time. For this time round, it is going to be Sakuya A with knife style. So Sakuya A's bomb, pretty useful, does 32 damage, accurate as all spell cards are, and adds 2 throwing knives to the hand. As you can see, the throwing knife is a 2-mana attack that does 16 damage. So honestly, pretty good just off the bat. 16 is a lot for any 2 mana, non-upgraded too, so that's kind of nice. But if the throwing knife leaves the hand by any means outside of being played, you do a smaller amount of damage to the enemy with the least life on the board. So 6 is the base. When it's upgraded via, you know, just having an upgrade card available, or the knife is upgraded by the exhibit here, that jumps to 10 instead. The upgrade itself also costs 1 instead of 2, so it's a lot easier just to play, and 1 mana for 16 damage is insane, to be honest with you. The cards themselves do have ethereals, so they will leave the hand at the end of the turn. They will exile themselves for doing so, and they will do a bunch of extra damage, and that's how Sakuya mainly gets her output. It's kind of like inverse potions, where they stay in the hand for the most part, but you can force them out of the hand by various means, and do little chip damage and stuff that way. They also have Replenish, which means if you do draw one, and there are cards to put knives into the deck as well when you play them, then you will not consume a draw for that. You will draw an extra card as well. So that's going to be pretty useful here too. As you can see, Sakuya is blue-white as far as her mana pile goes. The white cards generally do more with knives, and the blue pile generally does more with extra turns, but you know, there's some mix and match as we go to. 75 life, same as Marisa. She starts with a lot of money, just like Marisa does as well, so 99 money here. So you don't generally want to take the shiny, rare exhibit trade at the start. But yeah, we'll just have to see. There's plenty of different mechanics that she gets as well. It's not just about the knives, there's time pulse stuff available too. But we'll get to that as we go ahead and find it. So let's see how this run will go. So, as always, we get a randomized thing from the start here. Yeah, this is the one you don't want to take, it's the trade. Because you start with 99 money, so like that's the most expensive trade you could have. So we're going to take the uncommon one, see what we can get as our first thing. A couple of interesting ones. So meditation is a common or uncommon for like neutral pool stuff, so you could get this with Reimu as well. You choose a common card, add it to the hand, it gets exile and ethereal. The upgrade I think gives it a debut effect, but I forget exactly what it does. So whatever. News Fabrication, I don't personally like this card too much, but if you've got discard synergy, which is something Sakuya can do, it's pretty respectable. Discard 3 cards, gain a lot of mana for just 1, right? You're essentially gaining 2 blue and a colorless, which is good. The upgrade makes it discard 2 or 3 cards, and does it get more? It gives a rainbow instead of the colorless, so that's also pretty good. And then Jack the Looter Bile, I think this is the one we're going to take because I'd like to try and show Time Pulse stuff off here. Time Pulse is a mechanic where at the end of your turn, for every Time Pulse you have, every enemy takes that much damage, and then for every enemy you hit, you lose a Time Pulse point. So this allows you to gain Time Pulse turn by turn, and yeah, I think we'll go for that and see if we can do something with that here. So, as per usual, gonna take the life pill. There's only one character I will take the power pill with, and we'll eventually get there because it's the last like main character I'd play. Let's just see what we can do. There's only one upgrade path down here, so we'll take that one. And yeah, basically the same sort of startup. So, one of the things that Sakuya does pretty well is generate knives. So her opening card here for 2 white mana does 10 damage, adds a throwing knife to the hand. So we can hit this guy for 10 and add one of these knives to the hand. Now this guy will take 6 at the end of the turn because it's on the lowest life, so that's pretty good. The other thing we can do is smack this guy for the full 16, take him out so we're not taking any damage this turn. And then the last one, because we're taking out the other guy who can deal damage, we will go ahead and knock out some of the life on this one too. So yeah, end of turn, hand gets discarded, this gets exiled, least life is on this guy, so he takes 6, and we go from there. The knives are attacks even when they're getting discarded, so effects like firepower will affect them as well, which is something that's worth noting. And I'm sure we'll see that as we go, because there's a couple of good cards for that too. Alright, so this is a pretty good example of like all of the stuff basically Sakuya can do. So Deja Vu, the first thing it does, you can place a card on top of the deck, and then you draw a card regardless, and then you gain a colorless mana. So it doesn't quite replenish itself, but she has a lot of cards which give you a colorless mana back afterwards, so you can use neutral, like non-colored stuff to run with, which is what the knives are, so that's good. The reason this is good is because if you put a knife back on top of the deck, it leaves the hand so it does its chip damage, but it has replenish so it doesn't take up the draw 1. So you still get to draw a card and still like recover the mana and whatnot, but you also get a little bit of extra damage as well. Travel Preparation is a pretty solid one as well. Draw 2 cards, discard 2, gain a colorless. It goes up by 3, so draw 3, discard 3 when you upgrade it. Converts one of your blues to a colorless, and discarding the knives will still trigger them, which is good. But one of the other things it can do is trigger a card like Ship's Phantom over here, which when it's discarded or exiled, that part is new, gain 2 blue. One of the things I also should have mentioned at the start is that this game just went over quite a large patch recently as well, which gives you a lot more option. I'm gonna have to redo a couple of the playthroughs now because the cards have changed quite a bit, but we'll get there. As far as what I want to do, I think Travel Prep is the obvious one to take at the moment. Blue is our less dominant mana, so we can probably afford to get rid of some of that as we go, and it is just beneficial to have the extra draw around. Okay, so I think, yeah, we can knock out this guy. He's got 1 graze, so we've got to punch through that first, which is what the shoot's going to do, and then we'll hit with the bouncing knife, generate 1, and use our 1 mana knife to punch him out. And then since we've got 1 mana left, we'll take the graze off of this guy as well, so at end of turn the knife will do 6, and we've hit through quite a lot at this point. Should be able to take him out if we draw reasonably, but we don't, so Travel Preparation. Oh, we can't quite take him out. Okay, so a little bit unfortunate. Got to discard 2. Can't play Ludo Bile at this point because we don't have 2 blue mana, but that is fine. We will simply play our blocks to not take any damage. And next turn we can take him out because we're guaranteed... Well, we're not guaranteed anything because it's a refresh, right? But it's fine because we get 1 anyway. So yeah, nice and straightforward. The first fights usually are. It's mostly about getting some cards, and here's another interesting set of things to have. So, Sakuya's Special Watch, I don't think we're taking this one this time because we don't have blue as a dominant color, but you do a decent amount of damage, and then if an enemy gets KO'd by this, the watch gets exiled, and then you take another turn. So that's playing into what the blue stuff does. If you upgrade it, it becomes accurate and 24 damage, which is pretty good. Yokai Study, Tokiko's card over here, not too bad. It takes blue and white, but when you upgrade it, it only takes 2 of any mana, so that's quite nice. Gain a decent amount of block, and then you choose, on first use, that's what debut is here, you choose 1 of 3 or 5 if upgraded, blue or white cards, and add them to the hand. You still have to pay full whack for them, but they don't get exiled ever, unless they, you know, say it themselves. They don't, like, temporary exile, etc. So that's kind of nice. Imaginary Timeline does work pretty well with Jack the Ludo Bile. We gain 14 block, do 14 damage to every enemy, and gain free time pulse as well. pretty good for the opening stage too. The only downside is that it's very expensive. If you upgrade it, it doesn't look like it upgrades by much, but gain 5 time pulse is actually pretty useful. It's effectively 21 damage to every enemy in the turn, so we will take it because it's pretty good. Probably just upgrade that one immediately, to be honest, and go from there. So, what do we want to do? Travel prep. What have we got? Jack the Lullaby we can't play, so that's fine. It's doing 16 damage this turn. We could play this. Probably fine. If we're going to play that, we can discard the throwing knife. So we'll take 10, and then play this one. Gains the 14 block, does 14 damage, and with the boundary, we can actually keep ourselves safe. There's the Time Pulse trigger, does 3 damage at the end of the turn. Now we have 2 Time Pulse, so next at the end of this turn it'll take an extra 2 damage, which is actually enough to get... I mean, I don't think it's necessary actually to get the KO here, because we just used a knife now, and that's 26. 26 for 4 mana. Pretty good on the first turn, on the first stage, you know? Okay. Another decent enough set of cards. Purify the Land is not like my favorite card ever, but you can sometimes get some reasonable stuff off of this. If you upgrade it, it exiles from anywhere, so you can take things like Misfortunes a little bit easier and just exile them with that. Time Suppression is another one of these gain colorless things after doing an effect. Weakness is a pretty good thing, and if you upgrade this, it gives you 2 colorless back, so it technically more than pays for itself if you can go against the color, so that's nice. But I think we'll take Dazzling Dash over here. Fun fact, this is actually something that Yomu has in her event. You gain 2 firepower, but if it's the only card in hand, so if it's the first card that gets drawn, your effects are doubled, so it would gain 4. Upgrade this and it gains 3 or then 6 firepower as well, so we will take that. Because the more firepower we've got, the better the knives become. So, yeah. No damage taken, so this is a free upgrade. One of the things that's changed is bouncing knives over here. This used to do 12 damage and add the 2 throwing knives to the hand, but now it applies a lock-on instead, which technically makes it do about the same, but I think this actually makes it weaker rather than stronger for the most part. Still, do 10 damage, add 2 knives to the hand is pretty good, but I think for the first one I want to go for the timeline one, because 16 block is enough to get through a lot of attacks in stage 1, and that's where I really want to be. So, this is not because we haven't fought Marisa yet, but I think Marisa is probably the best one to go for here. It's actually a toss-up between Marisa and Reimu. Both of them are relatively good. Reimu's got white mana as well, which I guess would probably work for us here, but I'm really after the red mana, and both of these two can give that. Marisa's black mana can also do some funky stuff with Sakuya, and if you do take the black exhibit, it's better than Reimu's white one for like everything, pretty much. Reimu's white one's pretty bad. So we're gonna fight Marisa and see what we can get off of that. Also, yeah, idle animation, pretty great. Only Cherno doesn't have one right now because she's still sort of beta bound and whatnot. Anyway, what have we got? Oh, yeah, see, this is what I mean, right? Dazzling Dash has got this, oh, what did she call it? It's like a Sardinia mooncake or something? It's, yeah, Sardinia mooncake. It's really weird. If you take this one, you get a reasonable exhibit. At the start of each turn, upgrade a random card in the hand until the end of combat, prioritizing multicolor, so that's kind of nice. But the disadvantage is you get this misfortune over here, where if it's in the hand, you lose a life every time you play a card, which is pretty rough, to say the least. But the nice one is you just take the Dango over here, and you turn one of your cards into an upgraded multicolor card, which is pretty good on the first act, because it's going to be dual color based on your thing. This is dual color by itself, so that could be something we get. But we'll transform one of our blocks into Water Plate. Okay. So Water Plate does a little bit of damage for 0 mana, but when it enters the hand, it generates another copy of itself in the hand as well. It does exile when you attack with it, so it's not that infinite, but if you discard it, you could draw it again later and just get more copies of it, which is pretty good. Okay, this is not a fight that we've seen before, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest. The Doll of Nerium over here does a decent bit of damage and could do poison as well. If you kill this one, then you take poison damage, which is kind of rough too. And then the Trickster over here does nothing but debuffs, but it steals money every time that it attacks. And if you don't kill it before it runs away, you will lose all of that money, which is really annoying. It first will do a status thing where you can pay it to leave the field, but that's not really where we want to be with it. So this fight ends up just getting a bit dangerous as we go along. Probably going to take a reasonable bit of damage here. I always want to take the Trickster out first now that I've realized that it's not free money that it's getting here, but it's actually stealing yours, because yeah, the debuffs get really annoying too. Like firepower down and whatnot, which is not great. Probably going to just take a reasonable bit of damage here. We're taking 6, but I think it's important to get as much damage on this as we can, because we'll do 16 to it reasonably easily, so we'll take our 6 damage here. But yeah, it's kind of nasty. So here, you see we have the water plate, so these will cost 0, and we can just attack and win with that. No blocking cards, but thankfully she's not attacking this turn. She can do like 10 ungrazable damage and also apply some poison to you. This is going to increase the potential of her poison death, so another reason why you don't want to take her out first. Otherwise, we're fine though. I'll actually show off Jack the Ludabar here. So now, at the start of my turn, we'll gain 3 Time Pulse, which is pretty good. And then we will do our damage here, just thinking, is it worth? Not really, because if she stays alive, that's kind of annoying, so we'll just take her out. Yeah, normally Water Plate does 6 damage, but upgraded 9, so that's pretty solid. And we'll just do as much damage as we can here. 32 is probably not something we're going to take out in a single turn, but that's okay because we can just fully block here, and that's what we need to do. 16 block, 16 damage, 5 extra Time Pulse. So yeah, we're hopefully going to just spec into like Time Pulse stuff this round, because that would be pretty fun. And now, even if I don't play a card, she's already dead here, because we get 10 Time Pulse now. So we'll just end the turn, that'll do 10, don't even have to play a card, and we'll take her out. Okay, ooh, this is cool. This one has been upgraded recently. This used to only be 2 mana that it kept, and then 3 mana when it upgraded. But now it's an ability where you can keep 4 or 5 unspent mana. The thing is, in order to make this work, you really need a lot of mana generation, and I'm just not convinced that taking it this early is really right. So I'm pretty sure I won't do that. I also don't really like Bouncing Knives that much. Like, it's fine, but it always takes 2 white mana, which is just rather expensive. So, especially because we just transformed the block as well, I'm going to take the block card here, and I think I might just want to immediately upgrade that. I really want to upgrade like a lot of these, but I think if we get this one, we can, since we can use any mana for it at that point, it just makes it more flexible, which is where I want to be. Alright, Rin time! Usually are going to take a reasonable bit of damage here. We did get Dazzling Dash in our opening hand though, so we're not doing a lot of damage this turn, which is maybe a little annoying. But we can play this to get our firepower, plus 4, since we did draw it at the start. And then Ludabal for the future turns, and Throwing Knife to do 16. Well, 20, because we've got 4 firepower. So now Knives could potentially one-shot these guys, but we didn't get any, so... And they're all attacking. Fantastic. So 5, 11, 17, and she's going to explode this one. So 29 damage. Can't do anything about it. I guess we just block as much as we can. And we're taking 4 regardless, which is really annoying. Well, I mean, they're not doing status effects, so I suppose I shouldn't be too ungrateful, but that's still really bad. Okay, the water plate suddenly gets a lot better when we can do 13 damage with them, so that's really good. Let's see what, since everything's attacking again, let's see what we get off a Yokai Study first. So 16 block, and then we do have to pay for the card. We could take the stopwatch though. Yeah, so we'll show the other thing that Sakuya does here. If we go attack this guy with a stopwatch, do I want to use these first is the only other thing. No, because they're going to get shuffled back in and then I draw more of them. So we'll leave them for this turn. So we do the stopwatch, it'll do 22, and now extra turn gets taken. So they don't get to do anything until I've had another go. And yeah, we get another plate off of that, which is really good. So, alright. The only downside here, we are unfortunately going to take a little bit of damage from the Revenge Bullet here because the block... oh, maybe not, because the block is the first line here. So let's see what this does. Yeah, we get the block, and then we do the damage. You've got to look at the wording order, because the order of effects does actually matter. There's a few cards, I'm thinking Keiki's card does damage and then block, so if you were to KO the Revenge Bullet guy, you would actually take the damage and then the block would happen. So it's something you've got to keep in mind, but yeah, clearly this time it worked out very well. And now we can use the plates. We're very close to just winning out here. I guess I could have used travel preparation there to try and draw more plates. And no, we wouldn't have got it because we would have drawn these two, so we wouldn't have got the plates anyway, but yeah, that might have been a slight optimization you could do there, is to travel prep first, because you gain a colorless back off it, and that lets you use the shoot that I used anyway, so it's fine. Sword of Hiso, pretty good against the free fairies if we get that as our last Area 1 encounter. Not so good if we have to fight Tenshi again, as we did with the Reimu one, but we will see. Okay, I think Knife of Damocles is the one to take here. This also got a card artwork change relatively recently, it's pretty great. For 2 mana, apply 2 vulnerable, so for the next 2 turns you do 50% more damage, and you add a throwing knife to the draw and discard pass. This is going to be a priority upgrade because it adds a 3rd vulnerable and 2 knives to the draw and discard. So yeah, this is definitely going to be an important take. Alright, Raisin, what are we losing? Magic Guidebook, not really the worst one to lose here. If you take this, it gives you a random neutral rare, you get to discover it, so that's kind of cool, but they can be pretty bad, so not really a one that I care to lose that much. The one nice thing about getting Guidebook in the first area is that Renosuke in Act 2 can potentially buy it off you, and since it's a one-time benefit on acquiring, it's really not a problem to lose it that way. Yeah, we'll take the event. I've got plenty of cards I want to upgrade anyway, and we haven't seen this one yet, so there's a 150 monies reward on the side of the road. That's pretty great. Right, we'll take it then. Nothing bad's gonna possibly happen, yeah? Oh, the rabbit comes in. So yeah, Tay sees, wow, that's a really lucky pull you've got there. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. And you've got 3 options. You can either just keep all of the money and gain a misfortune, which, junk card in the deck, and if it adds, if it's in your hand at the end of the turn, lose a life for every money that you hold. There's actually a Jade Box mode that does that, and it's actually pretty fun. You can give all of the money away, and then you get a Lucky Rabbit's Foot into the deck. This is what I used to take, but I've started disliking this more and more as we go, until at the end of combat, if this is not exiled, you gain 15 money. So in theory, it will pay itself back as you go, but it's also a dead card in the deck, and that's really, really bad. It's like you can't get anything good off of this. You can, in the middle, which is usually the best option, I think, because it saves you having to pay for the misfortune removal, you just give 100 of it back. And so you only get 50 money off of this, but it's still free money, so we will take it anyway. Alright, ooh, one-time imaginary timeline? Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I don't think we kill here because the knife is pretty good too, right? But 16 to everything, take out all of the small ones. Yeah, we don't kill because of the shield. We're like 6 off, but 2 off. That's pretty good though. And the time pulse takes the kill anyway. So yeah, imaginary timeline, pretty good in Act 1. Okay. Other options that we have here. So the neutral one from Notori is optical camouflage. So if you remember the Notori fight from the previous round, this is what she, or any of the Kappa fights really, this is what they have at the start of the fight. You take half damage for 1 turn. If you upgrade this, you take half damage for 2 turns, which is pretty good. Propelling Silver is a good way of spending a ton of extra mana if you are in a mana generation deck, which Sakuya does have a bit of a hard time doing, admittedly, but she has a couple of things for it. It's what's called a synergy card, where with the X at the top you have to put the mana into the sidebar bit, and for every one of those that you spend, doesn't matter what color mana it is, you do damage. 6 damage in normal case, 8 damage if you upgrade it. That can stack up relatively well with firepower and whatnot. And I think it is separate attacks on this one. It's different for every card. Some cards don't have them as separate attacks. I don't know if this one does or not. And then Guard Up, it's 18 block for 3 mana, which is a bit expensive. It is a white block though, which is something we don't have right now. And block is not lost at the start of your next turn, which it usually is. So that's kind of good. It is expensive, but 18 block is a lot. I will take it. Probably begrudgingly, to be honest, but it's not the worst ever. If you upgrade it, it goes to 24 block, which is quite a lot. But we're not going to get the chance to do that, I don't think. So we got a Knife of Damocles, and here we are fighting the 3 fairies. Okay, Imaginary Timeline would be really good here too, but no luck this time. Okay. So it's Sunny that's doing her spell card this time round, so she's going to add 2 Refracting Sunlights to your deck, which is the status card. You'll take 5 damage at the end of the turn that it's in your hand. We will see what we can get off of this first. Oh, there's the timeline, but I can't afford it now, which is annoying. Okay, what do we do with this then? They're all defense cards, and I can't really do a lot with that. I guess we could roll the dice again with Revive the Same. 1 of 3 random cards with a total cost of X plus 1, so you've got to pay the white regardless, but it'd be like 2 plus 1, and then they cost 0, have Exile and Ethereal. We can roll with that, see what we can get off of that. So in order to actually take advantage of this, you have to put mana in the bar over here. So if we do this, it'll be a random 2-cost card that'll cost nothing and have Exile. That means we could still play the Throwing Knife, which is probably better than getting a free cost here. Alternatively, if we get a free cost attack, then this gets thrown for 10 damage. You know what? We might get something that isn't just an attack. We'll spend the free. So there's the Guard Up. Oh, this is really good as well, actually. Both of these are really good. So this is the card I want to see in the card pool, because I really want the Time Pulse bit. Whenever a Throwing Knife is used, gain a Time Pulse, and then add 3 knives to the draw pile. It's a bit expensive being double blue, but that is good. Pagoda's Glare is really nice here. Doing 15 to every enemy, then upgrading 2 cards in your hand. Does prioritize attacks, so in this case it would be Misdirection and Shoot, which is pretty reasonable. And yeah, Guard Up also not bad here, but I'd rather do damage. I think the immediate do 15 to everything is probably best, so we'll take that. Because the quicker we get them down, the better here, right? And we're pretty close already, so yeah. So with Star also putting status cards in the discard, that is a little annoying, I will admit, but it's fine. So the one downside here, I guess, if you want to call it that, is that the 2 that are attacking kind of have a lot of health left. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to take less damage by KOing something this turn, but we'll see. Travel Prep, yeah, because we have that. I'd probably just take Lunar out this turn, to be honest, and just eat some damage. That's seeming like where this is going. Yeah, I can't play... Oh, but I could play Timeline. Yeah, there's no point discarding that. We're also gaining a colorless mana back, so that is something worth noting. Yeah, let's do this, actually, because with the water plates, I can go ahead and take them out, I think. So do 16, and then the plates do 9, so we can take them down. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, water plate's kind of a good card to keep in mind, and it's very good with the mask exhibits as well. The Fox Mask over here, if we play 3 attack cards in a single turn, you gain a spirit. That is using them from the hand. It does not include like exiling them, or if you're in Potion Marisa, it does not include your potions being used when they get drawn. So that's something to keep in mind. Tea Brewing is the new card here. 2 blue mana, draw 3 cards. As the first time you play it, you gain 3 life, and it costs 1 less for the rest of the fight. That's fine. I guess I could take another Yokai Study, and then we're pretty good on defense for the rest of the game. Oh, most of the game anyway. Yeah, we'll take it. And then the choice is, what do we upgrade here? Dazzling Dash is really good. Bouncing Knife would also help. I kind of just want to upgrade Yokai Study, though. No, I need a little bit more attacking presence, so we'll get the Bouncing Knives. And now we fight Marisa! So yeah, Marisa also has her own song here too, which is great. Love the remix of this one. And yeah, you're not the one who stole the branch, are you? Yeah, the text is obviously still not properly formatted and stuff for it yet, but it is fine. We'll get there. Alright, ooh, starting with Dazzling Dash is pretty good too. Means I can't play Timeline, but I think we'll survive with that. So, Marisa has a relatively straightforward setup. Her gimmick is that anytime you gain firepower, this is going to make Dazzling Dash a little bit spooky to play. Any firepower gain you get, she also gets. So if you increase by like 4 or 6 or something, she's going to get that much stronger as well, which makes it harder to maintain defense against her, which is obviously not amazing, but it is still tempting, to be honest, because 4 firepower is a lot for getting this fight down quickly. It means I won't be able to fully defend against her this first turn, though. Nah, I think, despite that, it's tough, but I think despite getting that, I'm still just gonna go for Timeline here. We'll just get the damage out this way. I'm tempted, to be honest, to save these. I think I will. We'll use them later on when we get more copies of them. So she does damage, she adds a Starlight, the Refracted Sunlight to the deck, which is a little bit annoying, but we'll survive, I'm sure. This is a good time to use Knife of Damocles, get the Vulnerable, because now we can show the spell card. We'll do 48 damage because she's vulnerable, 50% more, and 2 knives get added into the hand. From here, I think we'll just guard up. We'll take no damage here. We've got the block retention as well. And these knives will do 9 because vulnerable. So adds another Sunlight. She's going to do 12 damage and gain, I think it's 3 grays here. So a little bit awkward, but it's fine. Let's see what I get off of Yokai Study first, actually. Oh, my Nice Recursions is a really good card. I can't play it this turn, but this is a super strong card for having around. It adds a, as it says, Sharp Knife Express to your hand, which does a bunch of damage by itself. This is effectively 5 mana, do 32 damage, but it also gets rid of all of the knives that you've played in the exile pile, and for every one that it gives you, every one you've exiled, it gives like more damage, which is great. I am thinking Play with Water is probably the play here. I can't use Trumpet solo, but I really want to take this for like finishing the fight off. Yeah, I think I will. We'll take it. I can't play it this turn, but it doesn't get exiled, so we'll have it for later on anyway. And we have 22 block, so we don't have to worry about that side of things. I think we should probably take advantage of the vulnerable turns here, so we'll do 24 and 8. Seems good. So we'll take 12, she grazes 2, and now she's going to throw a bunch of status cards in the deck, and followed by, in 2 turns, she'll do her spell card. I'll have to see if she gets that far first. So, most damage output here, probably want to travel prep first, actually, see what else I can get. We discard the Sunlight. The Sunlight will exile itself at the end of the turn if it's in the hand, but we don't really want to do that here. Discard that one as well, I think. Okay, so most damage output here is probably... we want to do this. We shoot, because that does less damage than the plate. Knife of Damocles is something I want to weave in here as well. Really want to get the lock on too, but I don't think that's going to be viable here. So I think we do... I mean, it should be viable. We do this one, and then here, that gets rid of the grays. So then the next thing we can do is the knife, because now there's a lock on, so we'll take an extra, we'll give her an extra point of damage here as well. So it does 15. And then the last thing we could hit with the knives, but I think, is it better? This does 26, and then she'd take like 10. That's not gonna kill. So if we just do more of that to get more knives into the deck. Time Pulse does 2. These will put it down at like 13, and then we just need to draw any attack card and we'll win. So we're not gonna get to see the spark this time, but effective. Well, let's just show this off because we have it, right? It's 60 damage. It's a lot of damage. Yeah, so she'll do a Master Spark for 40 damage on the next turn. 40 base damage, I should say, and we got it! Oh, this is gonna be fun. Alright. Hopefully we get one particular rare off of this as well. I'd be super happy with that. So, yeah, she charges, she'll do Master Spark and stuff. We'll fight Marisa again with a different character later and get the stuff that way. But for now, we'll just move on. Okay, so Marisa's exhibit is the mini Hakuro. We haven't actually seen this one yet because we haven't done Marisa B. It adds red to the pool, which is what I wanted. And when you spend red mana on an attack, you gain charge. Charge is a mechanic that works for burst mode. We're probably never going to get into burst mode because we're not going to have that much mana, but we'll try anyway. The neutral, like, random one here is the toolbox. It adds a colorless to the mana base, and then every 2 combats you do, you'll get a tool card as well. That's pretty respectable, to be honest. Colorless is obviously not the most playable of manas for most stuff, but it's fine, you'll get there. And then the blue one, which is for our own mana pool here, the Ice Scale. You add a blue to the mana base, and then every ability card you play makes 2 random cards in your hand, cost 1 colorless less, or 1 any color mana, I should say, not strictly colorless. Again, colorless as a thing is actually used to pay for certain cards, but when I say colorless, I don't mean for that specific. Costs 1 less, so if you've got, like, yeah, 1 plus blue, it will just cost the blue. We're taking the Hakuro because I really want to see, like, Knife Sakuya does super well. This is not it, unfortunately. Knife Sakuya does incredibly well with red as the mana thing. There's an uncommon which is super good for it, and there's a rare which is red-white that's actually fantastic as well. As far as what we get for our rares here, Maid's Trick is kind of interesting if you've got a decent amount of knife generation. At the start of your turn, this ability discards up to 1 card and then redraws, so that's fine. It costs 1 when you upgrade it, which is fine. This means you could discard a knife, do some damage, draw an extra card as well, pretty good. Replenish Fuel is the charge thing for sure. This actually for Sakuya, discard any number of cards in the hand. For each one discarded this way, it gains a charge. I believe this got a mana reduction in the recent patch, where it's now 1 or 0 when you upgrade it. This can be pretty good, and it would be a way of us getting into burst mode, so I'm tempted to take it, but right now I don't have, like, generate a ton of knives in the hand, so I'm not entirely sure. The alternative one here is the Yukari Ran card, which for a rather expensive blue-white +1, choose 1 of 3 random uncommons in the hand, gains 0, gains exile if or whatever, it costs 0. So you're paying for this, and then you get 1 of random uncommon set from the hand. It's good, and it would be able to generate some of the stuff that I'd be after. So I will take it, because I think it's more playable here, but Replenish Fuel, actually pretty okay too. Oh, fighting Yuyuko. So Yuyuko, we haven't fought in... Well, have we fought? Yeah, we've fought all 3 of them. Now, Yuyuko is pretty interesting because she has black mana as her associated setup here. Let's just see what we can do within our little setup here. So, as most of the time, you will start with fighting the drowned girl at the beginning here. Trying to think if there's any reason to play this, because we don't have guard up in the hand. What are we doing otherwise? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't really have anything else to do, I guess, so we'll play it just because. These are decent choices, I will admit. Lost in Paradise is interesting, although it's better when you upgrade it, because you just get a copy of the card to the hand. So if we copied Water Plate, we would get a second thing. That's kind of good. Knife of Damocles, of course, is great because it gives us more stuff. I think that's the one we should take here, realistically. Great Tengu's Decree is a really good blue-white neutral that lets you do some damage, and then every time that enemy takes damage for the rest of the fight, you gain block. This is something I'd look for as a general card. Really hoping we see it at some point, because knives do count towards this, because they do attack damage. But we'll take Damocles here, because now these will do more damage. Take 14 instead, which is pretty good. So this will do 24 versus doing 15 and 15, so this will do more. Because, yeah, 50% more damage. That's, yeah, 2 times 15, better than 24. This is a new visual effect, by the way, if you've ever seen this fight beforehand. This is brand new and absolutely gorgeous. Really, really love the way this goes. So, we basically need to knock her out this turn, and we can do that because bouncing knives is great. So, 15, add 2 knives to the hand. The drowning effect that she put on us will make us take 10 damage at the end of every turn. So, effectively just add 10 to the number that she had there. Short Break got upgraded recently. This used to end your turn and cost, I think it was like cost no mana instead, but it used to end your turn for using it even when it wasn't upgraded. Now it's just add a rainbow, and that might actually make it worth playing here. Too Big to Fall is interesting as well. I believe I used this in Marisa's run, where you gain block equal to number of cards in the draw pile, and it starts in your opening hand. If you upgrade this, you get Barrier instead, so you can have like a buffer against the next attack that the enemy does. And yeah, Purify the Land, like I said, you exile from anywhere when it's upgraded, so that's kind of cute. I'm going to take the Short Break though, because I haven't had the chance to play with this card since it's been improved, we shall say. So we'll see what it's like. Alright, get the Water Plate, get the Dazzling Dash. No defense cards whatsoever in this opening hand, so we are taking damage here, unfortunately. But we do have like 6 mana's worth of stuff to play, so there is that at the very least. So we're going to start with the Firepower, that much is obvious. I think we want to put Vulnerable on this guy. I think it's possible actually that we win this turn if we just use the bomb. But that seems like a waste of a bomb to protect against 7 damage, so I don't think we're doing that. Alright, so one thing to note with the Keystone is that it makes itself take 3 less damage, and the everybody else basically take 2 less. Specifically 2 less unblocked damage, so if you hit barriers and stuff, then it doesn't reduce that. But it kind of messes with the numbers a bit. So you see it's taking 17 from that, which is interesting, 11 there. So what's it taking from this? 27? That's still reasonable. So if we hit it with these 2, then it will take it out, which is fine, right? No, because this doesn't include the reduction. Alright, I wasn't sure if it did or not, but now we know. I know 27 is still enough, yeah, so we'll do 24, which does take it out, and now there's no protection here, so we can do just a little bit more damage here. Taking 7, which is kind of annoying, and you can see the star for the charge here as well, because we spent a red mana. Again, we're basically never getting to that, unfortunately, but we can try at some point. Maybe if we get more Marisa-based stuff, we could, but that seems unlikely. Alright, get a block. Okay, a couple of interesting cards out of this. Remote Support is another generation card, where you choose non-Sakuya cards to add to the hand, cost 0 and exile, etc. Changeling Magic is also interesting. Exile up to 2 cards from the hand and add that many knives to it. This one's much better when you upgrade it, and then you exile the knives, and it's fun. But, whatever. This card also got upgraded recently. 16 damage, draw a card. The draw card is the new bit. So it used to only be just do 16 damage and it costs less every time you drew it. But now it also does draw too, which is pretty good. think we're just going to take remote support here, unfortunately. There's not a lot else that's good there. None of these are amazing either, if I'm being honest with you. Ready for burst is what we would want if we're looking to get into charge. We don't need more defense though. I guess we just take ignition. It's not really going to be that great, but do 5 damage at the end of like every turn, right? Yeah. I mean, sometimes you don't get the best cards off of these things. That's fine. So we'll get our damage off, and, well, the knives are going to be enough to finish it anyway, so I guess I was not, like, thinking of it over nothing. It's fine. Impatience is probably the card to take here, even though I really like not being draw-locked. But the other cards are really not that important. Parting Woes is interesting, but it takes a lot of mana to use. You get to retain 1 card or 2 cards if you upgrade it. You get to keep them for the next turn, and then you gain a bunch of block, which is fine. But again, we already have a 3 mana block card, which is at that sort of level. And this is upgraded, so we can use it with any mana. So draw 5, but you can't draw any more until the end of the turn. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Remelia. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good time to show Remelia's event actually got changed a little bit here. So we still have Reversed Hunger, but now it only takes 5 off of you instead of 8 if you didn't do a life gain that turn. But also the Devil Shot went from 7-10 base to upgrade to 8 and 12 as its damage here. So we get a significant damage buff on these things, as well as taking less if we don't gain the thing. This is a dangerous event to take with the boss here, because, I mean, as the Master of Dev, Yuko stops you from gaining life as part of her gimmick. So it is risky to do this. However, being able to use my attacks for like any mana, the 2 mana one specifically, is tempting. And I mean, it's fitting, right, that we take it with Sakuya here. I don't know. If you have the spacesuit, by the way, you give up the spacesuit, but you don't get the misfortune. That's the trade-off. I don't know. We did it last time. Nah, we won't take it this time. Also good to see the pouty face there too. Yeah, I mean, we could have taken it, but I don't think it's necessary here. Okay, what card do we want to upgrade this time? If we upgrade this one, it lets us choose from 5, which is pretty respectable. You don't always get what you need out of 3. I think it's just got to be Yokai Study, so we could use the red mana to pay for it as well. We really haven't gotten many exhibits here, so we could sell the sword that's doing 5 at the start of every turn. We could sell that to get a lot of money, and then hopefully we can just get a better exhibit out of the shop. That's not the one I want. I want the map. Yeah, if we take this path, then we have a choice for upgrade stuff. So I think, yeah, it's decent, but I think I will trade the sword away here, because we're probably going to go for a shop now as my usual route here. So let's do that and see what we get. Okay, so this one is much better if you get it at the start of the run. This is a bit late for me to get this one now. Yeah, this is one of the newest events in terms of the timeline of the game at this current point. If you take it, you gain the Idol t-shirt, which gives you 3 maximum life at the start of every fight, but also begins every fight with 2 lock-on, which means you will take 2 extra damage from every source of attacks that happens. So that's really bad when enemies do multi-hits, which is what a lot of enemies do. But you gain extra life from it too. If we had picked up the Kaguya Moko fight event and gotten the amulet that gives you barrier when you first get a status effect, I would take this, even at this point. But it's too late at this stage to go in with this, so how embarrassing. Yeah, so we're certainly not wanting that now. Oh, okay, this is a good reason to have not used the bomb before now. This fight is atrocious. So this Fox Yokai, the charm that it does on the first turn will limit you to only playing 3 cards per turn. And you can see it's got 92 health as well, which is a heck of a lot for right now. So, gross, for one. Yeah, this fight is really bad. And also you've got the rabbit doing status debuffs and stuff on the side too, so that makes it even worse. These aren't great cards to have here either, because they're not attacking. So I guess we're just taking that, but that just makes this really expensive. Not good, not good. I'm kind of feeling like we're going to have to use the bomb here, because otherwise this is just going to get ugly. So... shoot, let's do that, I suppose. Throw the bomb out on the rabbit, because if I just get rid of this, then we don't have the debuffs to pay for, so I guess there is that. And then from there, we want to play into this. Because the lowest attack, at this point the lowest health is on the rabbit, so we'll kill it with that. And now we're limited to 3 cards per turn. Luckily, knife generation kind of plays relatively well into that. Unluckily, stuff like this really doesn't matter. So, yeah. She doesn't do a ridiculous amount of damage, but she does, like, 14 is not unreasonable. So you gotta keep that in mind too. Alright, to get vulnerable down on her, I'm taking damage this turn basically no matter what. It's tempting to travel prep, but I think I've just got to take like the little bit of damage here and just do what I can. It's not a great situation, to be honest. So we'll take 3, and now she does her spell card, which is 10 damage plus 2 weaken in this case. So sure, I suppose. Let's just gain the firepower. Bouncing knives, this does 21, and then we could use one of the knives, we get 2 in the hand. I think this is enough to kill. Yeah, it is. So 32. Dazzling Dash is pretty good. Get it doubled, go figure. That did get changed recently actually, because it used to cost 2 white mana, and then if you drew it as the only card in the hand, it costs 0 to play. But this version is so much better. Oh, this is interesting. Like, do we go for more firepower, or do we take the block for gaining charge? I have a lot of defense cards already, right? Because I've taken 2 of these. So we've still got a couple of them. 1, 2... Oh, we've not got that many defense cards, actually. We have an attack that can add defense. Yeah, let's take this. It's pre-upgraded, so kind of helps a bit. And we'll go for the shop. Right, because I'm probably going to remove one of the blocks here as well. Oh, so what have we got in here? We have room cleaning is pretty good. We don't quite have enough knife gen yet to really make it work, but it's not terrible. Discard a card, draw 2 if you upgrade it, and if you discarded a knife, then it upgrades every card in the hand. Otherwise, it just upgrades 1, but that's still pretty solid. The Falling Moon Rabbit is very interesting. Flawless is the effect where you only lose life in increments of 1 per like anything basically. So that's kind of cool. And the raiments it adds do give you Flawless as well. Kind of a strange ability, to be honest, but I guess they don't want you repeating it, so it makes sense. Wandering Heaven is a very interesting card as well. Gain 12 block for 2 mana and then upgrade a chosen card in the hand until the end of the turn. If you upgrade this, it upgrades every card in hand. Very good if you're generating a lot of cards. Rabbit Landing is also a really good attack. And then otherwise, well, Black Notebook is interesting. Just do 30 to everything with names at the start of the fight, so you just get a little bit of a head start. The Peony is pretty good. Whenever you spend white mana for the first, like, up to 10 basically spent in one fight, you gain life, so that's pretty good. Spend 5 mana, gain 3 life. And then the Lightsaber is kind of nice too, because for the first time you do attack damage, you apply 3 lock-on to that target. If you do an AoE, then it applies it to everything, which is pretty cool. So, I think we've got to remove this first. Regardless of everything else, that's gonna happen. Room cleaning does make sense, so we will take that. Probably gonna have to upgrade that pretty soon, but that's fine. Wandering Heaven makes a lot of sense too, so it's probably worth taking. And then it's looking at this bit mostly. Because this is fine, but it is very expensive to cast, and I don't overly like that. So we'll go Lightsaber, Peony. Do I want this as well? Probably. Yeah, let's take it. And then the only other choice for me really is if we want the firepower, and sure, I'm not going to go to a shop for a while, so we'll gain it there. It is technically worse than Dazzling Dash, but it also costs a different mana color, so yeah. And now, yeah, Notori's got a name, so she just took 30 damage for nothing at the start here, which is pretty good. Let's start with our good old Shikigami Protection. This is the card I really want. At the end of Sakuya's turn, add 2 throwing knives to the draw pile. This also happens when an enemy is defeated. This upgrades to add 3, but this is the main reason why Red Sakuya is so strong for Knife Gen. So, yeah, I want that card, just as an actual normal thing. We'll see if we can get it later. Let's discard those 2. And just do the little bit of damage that we can. She does have optical camo, so she's taking like half damage here, but it's fine. And yeah, now we get more knives into the deck. Oh god, you would summon that one, wouldn't you? The yeah, the Terminator one is the strongest for sure, because 100 health, obviously very powerful, gets 15 defense at the start of every turn, and yeah, she's doing 40 damage here, and I have nothing that I can play to do like anything here. That's unfortunate. Oh boy, we are not in a... okay. Well, let's just swing as much as we can, I guess. We'll get rid of the amulet, and we're taking 40 this turn. That's like half my health. It's really not good. Ow! Ay ay ay. Alright. Well, maybe we'll be able to do something from here. She's still doing they're doing 44 this turn. So, yikes. Yeah, this game can get pretty brutal sometimes, for sure. Alright, let's see what we can get off of this at least. Ooh, so some interesting stuff. I think Keiki's card is probably the one we want here, although Patchouli's is also very tempting. It does take up a lot of mana. We can't actually play... Oh, that's a problem, because of the way the mana was used. We can't actually play Keiki's card this turn. I think we still take it anyway, but man, that's annoying, actually. Well, I guess we're full sending defense this turn as well, then. Still gonna take some damage off of this, I think, but... unless I take this one. Yeah, we'll take that. 20 blocks, so we're not taking any damage this turn at least, which is fine. We get some knives to hit Nitori, so hopefully, I think she'll be taken out next turn if we get a reasonable amount of stuff, so we only have to deal with this thing from here. But that's still not going to be easy. Okay, order of operations here. We add the rainbow, because now we discard one of the knives. And this will upgrade everything, including the rainbow, so now we get an extra mana out of it. Unfortunately, I once again did not draw defense. So... yeah, we're in trouble. Not much else to say of it. We're kind of in trouble here. I don't think I can do 115 with this hand in one turn. Because that would be the solution here, right? Is to take this guy out. But I don't think we can. Uh-oh. Maybe we can, actually? Hold on. This might be possible. We do 20 and then 12. No, it's not quite. Is it best just to take out Nitori then, because she's going to put optical camouflage on everyone? Yeah, it probably is. Man, it's still taking so much damage here. That's not great. If we bomb it, will it do? Because with that does 37. If we bomb it, I think it's enough. That's probably worth not taking a further 20 damage this turn. Because we do 37 because it's got lock on. That takes it down to 22, and then 12 and 10. Yeah, that's gonna do it, but that's rough to have to use. Because this means we probably don't have the bomb now for Yuko. So, sketch. We'll see. But that does win the fight. That's pretty much as good as we can hope for right now. Spider Lily is an interesting one. Whenever you defeat an enemy, you gain 2 red mana in that turn. So that's kind of nice. One thing to note in terms of order of operations, knives happen after your turn is physically over. So if you KO an enemy with a knife, you'll get the 2 mana for the next turn. So that's kind of useful. Deflation World is interesting. This used to be 24 damage, but it used to also cost an extra mana as well. Now, 20 damage for 1 white, 1 of anything is very strong still, but you also discard any knives that are in your hand and target the enemy that you hit with Deflation World. We're taking this because it's got a super cool effect on it as well, but yeah, decent card. Mask of Hope versus Black Lotus. Mask of Hope works with the amount of attacks we're doing at the moment. We gain extra power for every 3 attacks that we do. The Black Lotus makes us start with 2 black mana in the first turn of the fight, which is solid. Wouldn't it be nice if we could add 3 mana of any color? Yes, it would, but that would be broken. I think that's a reference to the Magic version of this card, right? That's pretty interesting. Yeah, let's start with the extra mana, I think, because just getting a leg up on the first turn of every fight is super important. The only upgrade path is this one, so we will take this one. Uh-oh, this is bad. Right, so here's the Colosseum fight of this game. You can do a super strong fight of 4 different drones here, and if you win, you get an exhibit as well as the exhibit from like the fight and stuff. If you refuse, you take invisible pressure, which gives you, yeah, at the end of a turn, lose 10 power. This could be the end because they do a ton of damage, but we'll see. Because it's always 2 Purifier and 2 Scout Drones. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be rough, but I think we can take them. It's going to rely a bit on how good this ends up being, I think. Let's start off with extra firepower. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that here. I want to do the other one too, but I think I have to, based on my hand and stuff here, I probably have to just go with this. Because we can do this, we've got 4 mana left. Because we're gonna then have 3 with this here, so we're not gonna have a lot to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so yeah, let's draw first. Okay. So what are we running with here? They are doing 38 as their total output. If we can take out one of the ones doing 14, we can at least take a lot less damage this turn. We didn't draw imaginary timeline, that was the thing I was really hoping for. Yokai Study is probably going to be the way. I'm thinking like Yokai Study, bouncing knives, and then throwing knives should be enough to take out one of them. Get a little bit of defense. Yeah. Okay, let's go for that. What do we get? Stopwatch I don't think does anything here. This is another card I've been hoping to get, but we just haven't yet. It's adding extra knives to the hand. I don't think Stopwatch is going to get me enough damage, because it's going to do 20, right? Because this isn't taking firepower into account right now. So it does 20 damage, but it takes up 3 mana, and I can't use 3 mana on that. Honestly, like, none of these are particularly useful immediately, but probably Elegant Maid is the best overall one. Maybe the Stopwatch would have been better because I could redraw it later, but that is assuming the fight is going to get that far. Which right now, the hope is that it doesn't, right? Okay, from there... Yeah, defense is like not an option from here on out. We have 16 and that's about it. We can potentially get more, but then we don't have any mana to actually attack with. So I think it's gotta be ship it from here. No, be careful which one you click here. So we'll do that. And now this will do 12. And we have 8 damage from these, so we can stick the 16 onto something else then. If I'm seeing this right. Okay. Which means we can probably put it on you because you're going to attack next turn. Although you're also going to. Yeah, stick it on you because Purify is annoying. So then from here, Knives will take out him. And we're still taking a lot. But we have some extra mana for next turn, and yeah, taking 8. Okay. Whew. So now both of these are doing 18. Again, we just don't have defense. Maybe I don't have enough defensive cards in this deck after all, because we really aren't getting very far with this right now. We're 20, right? There's not much else to it. Let's make sure that I use the right mana here at the very least. So we get more charge, because it's very possible, thanks to Rainbow Mana, that we actually get up to doing... Oh god, I forgot Lock On as well. Ow! Oh man, this is getting dangerous. They're both going to do defensive stuff this turn, which is grateful. I'm grateful for it, but... Oh boy. This is not looking good, folks. Not looking good at all. Yikes. See what I draw at the very least here. Imaginary Timeline, but I don't have... I mean, I could pay the Rainbow. We have mana for it here. I've been hoping to draw that from, like, the start, because it would have been really helpful to have around, but no such luck. And, Deflationary World does the most damage, so we will do that one. Really, really neat effect on that too. Love that. Time Pulse takes out this guy. Unfortunately, Time Pulse happens before the end of your turn, so that's why we just lost the mana immediately. Well, they're not doing any damage this turn, so I think we're in the clear now, but this is so much damage to have taken. Thankfully, the Peony is actually coming in here. We've healed 6 of that damage off this fight. So... I think we are gonna be okay, but it's very scary. Not much else to say with it, really. Just this is not gone according to plan. Let's just put it that way. Okay, the Lunar Veil is really, really good, though. Oh man, that helps out so much. So we get Flawless at the beginning of fights. It's not going to help for Sager, but it does really help for Yuko, because she does multi-hits at the start of the fight. And just any fight in general, we won't take as much damage as we did there now. So that's good. Finally get access to Elegant Maid. It's a shame we got to give this one up, because this is nice too, but it is expensive. The Chen card over here is a decent enough one. You gain normally 8 block for red-white, but at the start of the next turn you also gain block. So it's like, it's the delayed effect, but you get a decent bit of block, and then just gain more block as well. We need knives, I'm taking the knives, so there is that. And we thankfully also get a second exhibit, which is phenomenal in combination with this, good lord. The spacesuit means we take 1 less life of damage every time we would take damage. So our first turn is now invincible. That is very nice. So dangerous, but worth it. We're not in the clear, but that is a very positive turn of events for us here. Okay, so now to try and take advantage of that, right? Let's start with Elegant Maid. And now we have Deflation World in the hand as well, so we can do a pretty nifty looking combination here. When you use the knives this way, it will do the discard effect. It does not actually play the knife. So keep that in mind as you're working out how much you value stuff with it here. This guy's the only one doing damage, but I guess it really doesn't matter that much given our the way our turn 1 is set up here. All of our other cards take white mana, so we're not going to get the most use out of it here. But that means we can, like, chuck the 16 on that guy, and now Deflation World will do the rest with the 2 knives that we just got. Unfortunately, we still can't play any of the other cards in the hand, so we are losing mana off of that, but it's fine. Get a little bit of healing. Now, we want to take the Kappa out if possible before we take out the drone, because if we don't, then once we take out every drone that's in play, the Kappa suddenly starts doing like 20 plus damage with every attack. So we've got to be a little bit careful about that. So I think we're still taking, we would be taking 1 point of damage here, but the spacesuit is going to prevent it, so check this out. No damage because spacesuit. She does heal this up again, which is a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world really. Alright, Yokai Study, what are we gonna get? Melancholy Eruption is pretty good. Time Walk is also somewhat interesting. It does take a decent bit of mana, but it's probably the best overall extra turn card, so we could use that. I don't think we really need to spend 4 mana on that though. Let's get Melancholy Eruption. So now, Travel Prep, discard probably these 2. They're not doing damage this turn, right? No, so probably these 2. Then use the plate. And then the last thing to consider is, like, ordering here. I think we might discard the Rainbow, which will suck a little bit. It's a 50-50 here. But I think we'll go for Melancholy Eruption. Yeah, we do discard the Rainbow. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. So it's got a lot of firepower, but it's also not attack. One thing the Scout Drones don't do very often is just do a ton of attacks. So we're fine in that aspect. We can take out the Kappa before it repairs any further. Gain some extra mana off of that too, which is nice, because we'll spend that on this one. See if we can get something better. Frozen Laser is pretty good. But it still has the amulet, so it's maybe not that great. Luminous Ricochet would technically do more damage then. This is another card I've been hoping to get that we just haven't. Gain block and add a throwing knife, that can also be nice. Let's just take the Ricochet and see what... Oh, no, because if I use this one, then I can't use Shikigami as well. We'll see what this gives then. Nothing great. Okay, next turn. We'll retain the Ricochet. Yeah, we really didn't need to go that far into block this turn because it's not going to do anything for us, but I just didn't draw an attack card. Sometimes you just don't get the cards you need in the right order, you know? And it happens. But we're still taking damage off of this, aren't we? 11 by 2... Oh, not if I use... No. We can not take damage here, because if I just use that one first... We got 18... And yeah, just use that. I don't think... Are there any... There are knives in the pool, so I guess we could draw something good off of that. We did not. That's fine. To be honest, most of those 5 cards I didn't really want next turn anyway, so it's probably for the best that we just got rid of them. This looks better for sure, because now we do that, add a bunch of knives, and just go boop, boop, and take it out. I think we could have just done it without doing the extra knife generation, but I don't care. Okay, so we get apply weak and gain that. I think we've seen this one already. Time Magic, you do a bit of damage and gain Time Pulse. That's relatively good. We are on the weaker side for that though, so probably not going to use that. And Counter Down Marku, I was complaining that we didn't have enough defense at times. This gains Barrier, which is pretty good for for blue-red. If you upgrade it, it gains Barrier without having to pay red mana though, which is kind of good. And then you gain Reflection as well, which for the first attack that you take in a turn, you deal that damage back to the attacker. I think it stays if you don't get attacked that turn as well, so we'll take it because that can be kind of nice. And upgrade, what are we upgrading? Maid gives you a 4th knife, which is pretty good. There's a few that I would like to upgrade though. Probably this, because then any card that we haven't already got upgraded, we could use the block and get upgraded as we go. Well, you're thinking, why aren't you healing with this stuff here? You need health back, right? Maybe not. We should be fine. So, where do we go with this one? I think we probably want to draw first. Let's make sure we use the right mana. I think it prioritizes certain colors before others. For whatever reason, it doesn't take into account like your character. So sometimes you will just get some weird ones to show up like that. Yeah, let's go here. I really kind of just want to upgrade everything this turn. So I think that's what I'll do. And then we'll just have ourselves set up for gaining a bunch of useful stats as we go. Oh, this only costs 1 when you upgrade it too. I should have thought about that. I did not realize that was the... I forgot that was the upgrade. Okay then. Let's do that so we can generate more knives. And we'll swing this turn as well. Why not? And go bang! It's pretty good. Casual, like, 141 damage seems pretty nice. She does get grays here as well, so we're a little bit behind on that aspect. So what are we going? What are we going to use out of this? Short Gamble is nice, but we don't have the mana for it anymore. She does have grays, so I do have to keep that in mind. Time Stop Detective is really good when you're actually using extra turn effects, but since we're not at the moment. I think I'll just take Remote Support and see if I can get anything good off of this. Oh, we get the Patchy card. Oh, this is amazing. So Patchy is a really cool tricolor card that we just haven't managed to see yet as well. You gain triple triple rainbow, sorry, and you choose 1 of 5 rares to add to the hand. If you get it upgraded, it can choose from uncommons as well. Blazing Star. I guess Time Walk is probably the best one here. But then I lose my block, which is unfortunate. Maybe we just take Replenish Fuel then. Because I don't really need most of the cards in this hand for this turn. Apotheosis is really good too, because upgrade all cards in hand is nice, but yeah, I'm just gonna take that, I guess. We'll use the barrier one, and then yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I can't attack anyhow because grays, we've got enough block to do what we've got to do. So let's just discard all of them and get more charge, because that might get us into burst if we want. I don't know. We don't need that much damage, so burst is probably unnecessary here, but it's funny. So sometimes that's what matters, you know. Let's see. Discard that one. Because then we're gonna go here to discard one of the plates. Didn't really do much. Alright, never mind then. Mana on that to get rid of the grays. You there. And then yeah. Get ourselves most of the block. So we only lose 1 barrier point here, but again, she's on 5, so she's dead now anyway, but her special thing there, the Silver Lockdown, oh, Shining, that's not Silver Lockdown, that's Sakuya thing. Shining Sword puts 2 lock-on on you when you draw it. It auto-exiles, but it also doesn't replenish itself, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah, she's not tab anyway, we're fine. Probably overthought some of that, as one always does, but it's okay. Inchling's Bolt, pretty good to take this before we take the card here. If we skip the card reward, we gain 2 max life. So that's fine. Reign of Hell is interesting. The Hecatia card, or Hecatia, however you want to say it. Hecatia? Probably Hecatia. Yeah, at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to each enemy for every card played that turn. We're not in the right deck for this, unfortunately, because we haven't gotten a lot of draw a bunch of stuff. Lightning Laser is interesting, especially upgraded. For any free mana, it is normally 3 plus a white to do 18 and gain 18 barrier. It is affected by burst, so if we ever got that far, it'd be great. Yeah, I'll take it. It's a reasonable attack. It gains barrier as well, so we can use it offensively and defensively. We're on 37 life. I think that's going to be enough to fight Yuko. We gained 6 during the fight as well, so I think we'll survive. Let's get the 4th throwing knife from this. And keep going. So Yuko also gets her own song, of course. Most of the characters do at this point. I think right now it's just Cherno and Seija that don't have their own unique stuff here. Oh, unfortunately, yeah, she summons turn 1, so we don't even get benefits off of the other stuff. That's a shame, but it's fine. Let's go... Do I use... I guess I do still use this first, because I don't have anything else that I want to use the mana on. Play with Water would be really good to have around for later. Yeah, we'll take that. Draw 3, discard 1. Is that even worth... Yeah, I guess it's worth playing here. Because I could potentially have drawn into something a bit more impactful. I'm thinking Knife of Damocles plus Bouncing Knives is what I want to do here. So, discard that. Could use this for the burst as well, is always possible. Let's go... Yeah, Knife, apply the Vulnerable, get as much damage as we can going here. Go... Bouncing, and it's either throw the knife at her, does a decent amount, or try for burst. I will throw the knife, because that does respectable. So she summons 2 dudes. This one is pretty annoying. Like, they do often apply 2 grays to Yuko, which is a right pain to deal with. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not super fun, but whatever. Gain some extra mana. Let's draw. Gotta discard 2. It's probably just going to be discarded 2 plays. Oh no, I don't want Rune Cleaning here, I don't think, because I've not got anything else I want to discard out of this hand. So we'll do that. And now... Laser! One of the things that's good about Lightning Laser is it is accurate, so that is something to keep in mind for later. Do a bit of damage, gain a little bit of defense. Not quite enough to take nothing this turn, which is a little bit annoying. I think I will just use the bomb here since she is vulnerable right now. It's going to do a lot. Yeah, 53, pretty respectable, and then we'll use Deflation World to punch out as much as we can. Yeah, maybe not the cleanest, because we are still taking a bit of damage here, but it's taking 3 points, but who really cares? Right, we're not killing her this turn, because we don't have the stuff for it. So at least see what we draw. Okay. So, from here, again, we're not KOing her this turn, which is a shame, so we should probably be playing on defense. At least we can see what we would get from this. Not really keen on like any of these, to be honest with you. I guess Propelling Silver could be a thing. Not really using it at the moment though, so not super happy with that. She's gonna be out of vulnerable if we don't have any way of dealing with that. That's fine. We're taking... we've got enough health. We can afford to take a bit here. Can't play Elegant Maid because we don't have enough mana. Could just play this, I suppose. See what else we could generate. Oh, Visionary Tuning is really good. But I don't think I can... It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can't actually afford to play that. That's... I mean, I can get 1 bonus mana out of it. That's unfortunate. Let's just take the watch then and just do a bit of damage here. She's got 2 greys. I should probably get rid of one of them. Yeah. It's not going to do any damage, unfortunately, but such is life. So, take our thing, and now her gimmick comes in. She does 12. 11 because of the spacesuit. And then the unfortunate thing, at the end of your turn, lose 3 life. Sakuya cannot gain life for the rest of the fight. The other thing this does is she does increase this amount as you go on, so if you really are slow in this fight, she is going to do a lot to you, so you've got to be a bit careful about that. Thankfully, you lose 1 less life with the spacesuit, so spacesuit is one of the best things to have around. What do we want to do with this? Once again, taking not a lot of damage here. She is going on defense as well, but the graze is going to be kind of annoying to deal with. This might be the turn to Ludobile then. Yeah, probably just set the defensive stuff up. We go Ludobile with that, and then, yeah, just hit with the 1 plates. Gain extra spirit. Probably should have done it the other way around, because gaining spirit means we could have gotten extra stuff there. That's fine. And yeah, lose 2 life. We do get to keep this block for next turn though, so that's good. But yeah, she gains firepower and block there. And now we lose 4 life at the end of the turn. So it does stack up pretty quickly. It's a bit spooky. Actually very spooky, but you know. I guess this could be a reasonable time to work out. I mean, she's doing... Oh, good lord. Yeah, there's quite a bit coming out here. I need to go defensive. I wanted to see if Propelling Silver would work well here, but there is no shot that I can do that with the life losses coming in. Oh, is it? I think it's every time these guys attack is getting extra Law of Mortality on here. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Huh. Okay, how the heck are we dealing with this? I think we want to... I want to travel prep this turn as well, but I think we want to generate the knives first. We're discarding 2 of them. Takes him out. Gains extra mana because of that, which is good. We need the rainbow because I need the white mana replenish here. Draw 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Too many cards to make that work. Let's pay red and a colorless here for the knife. It's just where's that going? I mean, it's got to go into Yuko, right, to get rid of some of the grays here. It's tough because it's like I want to draw, but I don't think I have the cards to do so. So I think the idea then is going to be get rid of the rest of her grays and swing with this. Get the block, get the damage in, and yeah, we're losing life pretty quickly. It's another 4 loss to that, even with the spacesuit, so it's getting pretty close, but she's also fairly weak, so with any luck we should be able to take her out first. I think Deflation World will help there. We are weakened and frail actually at this point too, so I think we have to win like this turn, otherwise it's going to be too much. Thankfully we have Deflation World and Knife of Damocles, so I think that is very possible. We just go there, this does 21, and then the knives target her as well. Oh, just barely short. Does this do it? No, it does 5! We're 1 short. That's really bad. Because if I knew that, I probably would have played Lightning Laser instead. Uh-oh. I mean, if we gain 13 block, is that... that's not enough. Yeah, that's game over. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's game over because we have Time Pulse. Ha! Forgot about the Time Pulse. Yep. That is very spooky. Okay, like I said, she runs black mana, so Bottled Soul is a very risky one to play with here. You do add the black mana, which is great, but you don't get power anymore, you get money, which is very interesting for Act 3, but oh, that is dangerous to run with. The the random one this time is the Stone of Azure, which adds another red, and at the start of your turn you gain a firepower, but you also put one of the refracted sunlights into the discard as well, which is potentially very dangerous as the fight moves on. The blue one is the telescope, which will give us 2 astrologies in the opening hand as well, so we can scry, dig a little bit deeper into the deck. It's probably the correct one. To be honest, we don't really need more red, so we'll take that. Not the greatest ones. I think this card is overpriced, to be totally honest with you. This ability, whenever attack is used, gain a barrier. It takes 2 white mana for that. Just really isn't that great. I guess if it's an attack is used, the one thing I don't know about this is if it works with knives. So you know what? Let's try it. The other ones was like gain 12 barrier, and if you take an extra turn, then it goes back to hand. And Keiki's one does damage and block, and then changes to a different form in the deck. It's Sanai. Oh, I kind of wish I took Keiki's one now. Sanai, pretty dangerous fight overall as well. Let's see how this goes. I think we'll start here. So now we have our stupid Crow Tengu over here, but it doesn't matter that she does damage to us at the start of the game because we do not care with our setup as it is, because we don't take damage off her in the first turn, so that's pretty useful. Okay, I ain't going to ditch that. She doesn't do anything to us because of our combination of Flawless plus the thing. So yeah, we really don't have to play defense whatsoever in this opening turn, which is really good. Let's go break. Don't know if I'm going to use the rainbow. I think I should use the rainbow here. We'll use that. Get ourselves some extra firepower. And then we have 4 white mana, which means I can't use both of these and Deflation World. I need to get this upgraded, now that I know it doesn't cost the white mana as well. It's frustrating because Grays kind of makes a lot of this feel pointless, but yeah, we'll do that and do that one. So now we can spend on 2 knives, 3 knives because we got the +1. Yep. Get a reasonable amount of damage out at the very least, and then the knives here are gonna go after that one. Fair enough. So now we do have to worry about our defensive options. And of course the irritating thing about this is it just puts more freaking Grays on them, so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this fight, to be honest. The design of the Crow Tengu in general, not a huge fan of it. Let's grab the laser here. So she's doing 18, this is doing 9, so 27 in total. Yeah, I'm getting like no damage out this turn, but I can at least get the Grays away from them, which is fine, and the Time Pulse will take this out before he does his status card, which is fine. So now we can actually hit him, which is good. You know, makes a change. Lightning Laser, pretty reasonable. Yeah. Yep, we'll just Lightning Laser. I was wanting to do it the other way around to get the firepower first, but if I did that I would take 6 damage, which is kind of unnecessary here. So we'll just do that. Crow's gonna get hit for the reflection damage, which makes it a bit easier to take out this turn as well. And now we have Barrier, which is good. Problem is, this hand doesn't really have anything else, so yeah, I guess. It is a hand of all time, as we would say. Let's just knock out the Crow, to be honest. We have enough barrier. Oh, we can even just block as well because of knocking out the Crow. I was gonna say we have enough barrier that we could take her attack, so that's fine. But we didn't have to. So cool. Yeah, not a lot going on this hand either. Wow, maybe this deck just isn't very good. We haven't really had a particularly great set of cards to run on, I'll be honest. Certainly could be better, but I mean, at least we are getting KOs, which is fine. It's just like, it's a struggle right now. That's the problem. Accidental dodge is something I didn't mention the last time it came up. You gain free barrier and you gain a graze. Normally it costs 1 plus blue, and when the draw pile gets shuffled it goes back into hand. So against some enemies that's pretty solid, because graze can be pretty useful. When you upgrade T-Brewing it draws 4 cards. Fine. I will take it because we've got 3 blue now. Wasn't going to take it before, but now I think it's fine. Gotta get a card upgrade, so I'm going this way around. What do we want even to go against these? I guess it doesn't matter because we're not taking damage this first turn. Right, what do we draw? Lightning Laser? Again, kind of good. Flawless doesn't stop you taking barrier damage though, so I think I'm gonna skip on that actually. There's just not really a reason for me to use it in this opening turn. Same with all of these, there's not really a reason for any of that. Travel Prep is pretty okay. Yeah, we can use that. Gotta discard 2. This is sort of what I wanted, so I guess there is that going for it. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be, like, don't do anything in terms of your... what am I trying to say? You don't do anything as far as preventing damage, but it's still passable. Premature Burial is very funny, obvious reference to the Yu-Gi-Oh card here. Lose a fair bit of life, which I think Flawless prevents you from... Yeah, I won't lose any life if I use that this turn, which is pretty funny. Then take an exile card from... take any exile card back into the hand. Problem is we just don't have anything good that's exiled, so there's not really any point in taking that one. Ricochet is probably the card to take here. Because if we do Ricochet plus Timeline, that's like 32 damage to everything, plus the Time Pulse. So, yeah, we should KO everything with those. Oh yeah, we've also got Firepower, right, so we just do more. And, yeah. I guess we didn't have Firepower, but we did more than enough, that's what really matters. Oh no, because it was Lock-On, right, we did AoE first, right, sorry. Getting myself confused. Peak Perfection is Sakuya's unique card out of the discard stuff. Like if you discard it, draw 2, or exiled at this point, which is really nice. I guess I'll take the Travel Prep Plus. We don't really have a ton of stuff to synergize with it right now, but it just kind of works out. We didn't see this event last time, so could be decent actually. We've got a very interesting Toyohime over here to help us out. We can just do nothing. That's one of the nice things with this event. But we can either lose 9 max life and gain 2 remove impurity, which is a card we can technically play in this deck, or we can consume the peach, gain 16 max life, but also gain a moonscape impurity as well. Not impurity, it's a misfortune, it's technically an impurity. Yeah, when you draw it, you purify 2 of your mana, so 2 of your most abundant gets turned to colorless. Losing life is a bit awkward, but the impurity removal is really solid. It's random, so that can be kind of annoying, but it makes it so that your colored cost does not, matter. The catch is that it actually takes a colorless to use. This is not a card you can use with just any mana, you actually have to spend colorless on this thing. If you do get it upgraded, you get to choose what card you remove the impurity of. We do have a couple of cards that generate colorless, so I think I will actually take this time. But it is a little spooky because we haven't gained life from any other source right now. So that's potentially dangerous, but this whole run has been potentially dangerous, so I think we'll just go with it. Okay, on to the trade. What are we going to get off of this? Trading that Silver Dimension for purchased materials. I think that's a worthwhile trade. I didn't really get to see whether this works the way I wanted it to, but this is a worthwhile trade. Descendant of the Inchlings is also a really good card. You do 16 damage and then skills cost 1 less this turn. But if you upgrade it, it does a little bit more, and then any card costs 1 less this turn, which is absurdly good for what we are doing at the moment. But purchase materials is a draw card, so draw card and gain mana at the same time, so I'm taking that. And then as per usual, get rid of the game console and keep going with that little side quest. Yeah, let's go for the upgrade path. Ooh, this is one we haven't seen yet as well. Satori's Consultation. It's a really, really good event to have here. You look absolutely drained. So, you've got 3 pretty solid options to go for here. You can just heal some life if you've lost a bit, which is fine. We haven't, so we're fine there. You've got the free version, which is choose one of any 20 uncommon or common cards and you just add that to the deck. Or you can pay a little bit of money and get an upgraded uncommon card, and you get to filter a little bit through this as well. So that's also pretty solid. It is, you can potentially do like multicolor stuff if you want to, but yeah, we'll pay for it. Feel good, I'm exterminating yokai. Yeah, you do, but that's fine. Depend on the test. So you can either choose to gain Sakuya only cards or gain neutral or other character cards. For the ones that you've got. So we'll gain a Sakuya exclusive here. And then do you prefer to fight stylish or efficient? So you can choose multicolor or monocolor. Want to go for the monocolor here because we can't get the rare that one because that's not part of this one. Show me Ripper. No, but we do have these which are pretty solid too. Knife of Damocles is really good. The annoying thing is that Sanai has a lot of amulet, which is going to make it a bit more painful to get vulnerable to stick. Quantum Tunneling is a really good card and is accurate too. 16 damage. This got buffed recently too. I think it was like 8 damage before as a base, and then 12 when it was upgraded. Now it's like 12 and 16, which is insane. You also gain the mana back. The only thing this doesn't do is like let you target an enemy, but this is basically a free attack and it's accurate, which is nuts. So remember to take it on an empty stomach. Ah dear, the pharmacist Satori is adorable, not gonna lie. Yeah, so pretty solid card. And gaining Rainbow is really good for it here too. We're going to see that as the main bit of it. So the reason I took Purchase Materials is because you gain Rainbow mana and draw cards off of it. Yeah, it's a one-time deal, but that is very nice for what we want. That Rainbow can be used to pay for this too. So let's see what we can get off of our opener here. Okay, so with the Wolf Tengu, every time you play a defense card, it gains firepower. So if we give it 1, it's going to do 10, 16, 23, and these are revenge bullets, so if we kill them, we still take stuff as well. I think I want room cleaning here. I really should get this upgraded too, because it definitely helps a lot. But we haven't quite got there yet. Astrology, again. Oh, Magic Timeline is really good. So I think I ditched this in order to draw into Timeline. Is probably the best way around to doing this. Okay, we're not taking damage this turn as well. That is something I do need to remember. So let's see, where does the tunneling go? Onto that. So yeah, 16. Maybe I should have done an actual attack first. I don't know, but it is fine. I'm looking for one of the more expensive cards to purify, so I should probably draw next. Yeah, because I think now I can afford to use the Purify. It is random, yeah. It's not a choice one yet, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so I'm misordering then. I should have used this first, discard the knife, and then I would have upgraded every card in the hand and would have gone to choose. So, a little bit of an oops, but it's fine. Discard the knife now. And, okay, not the worst. Got a lot of mana to play with here, so we should be fine. Let's go for the last set of draws. More firepower? More firepower is pretty good. Yeah, the trick is like manipulating it so that you can get the card that you want to be purified. That's the idea, but it is a little bit tricky sometimes. Especially with the hand as it is. But I think we can do it here, because I can't draw cards anymore. I'm gonna have to discard 3 though, which is discard this one, and this one? Yeah, that seems reasonable. So we don't draw because we're locked by Impatient. Discard this, and yeah, it is just that. And now we have a colorless specific, and there's only one card it can purify, so that's what it will do. And I guess we're just playing both of them out from here. 21 damage to everything. I didn't need to play the rainbow. I forgot if I was killing him. Yeah, I could have not played the rainbow, so I could have saved this mana. That's fine. I forgot about the Spider Lily. It's so hard to keep track of everything that you've got in a game like this, so sometimes things like that are just going to slip through. And yeah, we're not taking damage this turn, which is great, so no real need to worry too much. I think I just want to... I want to play this one. And then I can just use like one knife and throw the rest at her to finish her off. Yeah. Deflation World is really, really powerful, but it is a rare, so you would hope it would be good. Another ready for burst, huh? You know what? Fine. We might actually get into burst if I keep taking them, right? Which would help a lot. Again, there's a lot of cards here I want to upgrade. I think it's just got to be room cleaning at this point, though, because I've been struggling a little bit with the cost of that card. And the fact that it only draws 1, too, so it's technically not even going plus at the moment. So, yeah. Alright, Dorami. Dorami is a curious one. 450 health, by the way. Unfortunately doesn't attack on turn 1, so you really need to get like an actual attack to damage her on turn 1, because if you let her stay asleep, this Dream Layer is going to get stronger and stronger, and then you're kind of just hosed. So do everything you can to make sure that she does not the turn to do that. As to how we're going to go about that, well, probably going to start by seeing what we get off of this. Really keep that mana around for an attack. You know what? Yeah, let's just chuck the knife at it now, because I really want the charge. Because I think this is a fight with 450 health here. This is a fight where we're probably going to need that. You know, the alternative, rather than just using this now when it's not necessary, the alternative is just to go Elegant Maid and just like chuck 3 of the knives at her to get through the barrier. That's probably the better plan. We could also draw as well here. Yeah, chuck these 2. Or if we discard this and we don't have any colored cards left in... Yeah. Do that. Because now we can remove Impurity, guarantee that it hits this, which means it's really good for the rest of the fight. Yeah. Sense has been made. I just got to the best part. Yeah, so you stun her out of her thing. You've got 6 turns before she does a spell card, and you really don't want her to do a spell card. Scary. Thinking... Yeah, I do want to kind of card draw here. See if we can get anything good. Not really. Not much I can do within these. I guess we can use ring cleaning. We don't get the draw effect, but we do get to discard the knife, so we upgrade everything else. And gets a little bit more damage out here. Also, this is better for later on. And play the 3rd attack, we get a Spirit for the rest of the fight. So 90 damage through the barrier on turn 1, so we did like 120 damage there. That's not unreasonable, to say the least. Not a lot going on within this hand, to be honest with you. So I think... want to make sure that the red gets used for the laser here. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward because we're not actually going to be able to defend against everything here. So we are taking damage. Never a good sign, but we'll be fine. 310. Yeah, we're just... like, Sakuya A, I can find in general can just be pretty difficult sometimes to actually get a good amount of stuff off with. I don't know, it's weird because it shouldn't be like that bad, but sometimes it just feels like you really can't do much damage with this this character if you don't get the right setup. Okay, we want to pitch that, and I mean, there's not a lot that we're playing out of this hand, I don't think. Probably just Ludabile. We've also got to discard a third one, so discard one of the plates. Yeah, it feels bad. Yeah, not really sure. Let's go tunneling. Get another charge. We're almost at burst. We only need one more point, which we could do, but we don't have an attack that costs mana left in this hand, so I think that's just gonna have to wait until next turn. This is, once again, we're gonna be taking an awful lot of damage this turn, which is very spooky. Because this attack is doing 35. Ow. It's been the theme of this run, we're just taking a ton of damage everywhere. It's not great. Okay, let's go for the tunneling so we can go into burst mode here. So now our attacks are going to do double damage for the rest of the turn. Rainbow mana too, so that should be useful. I should have used the knife first, would have done a bit more damage off it. Whatever, it's fine. Losing out on 10 damage, but oh well. Let's go for the Purify, see if we can hit the thing. We don't, we hit this one. Hitting this is fine. It removes 2 color mana whichever way around it hits, so not really too fussed about that. Oh god. Wow, these are just really not very good as far as like doing what I want attacks to do right now. Ouch. But I think maybe we can make this work. We are going to lose some firepower. We've got added firepower naturally, so I guess it's fine. This is probably the time where we just have to use the bomb. It's going to do a lot of damage here, so like 90, over 90, yeah, 108 damage, so that's good, I suppose. And we do just take her out with a Spirit Bomb. 102! So only Spirit Bomb is pretty good at doing like a lot of global damage. Does about 30 or 40 when upgraded as a baseline. Does half of that to every other enemy, but you do lose firepower for using it, so that's unfortunate. The Hinadol, it's a little bit rough getting this like right near the end because we only have one set of events left to do, so I don't know if this is going to even come into play. We negate the next couple of misfortunes that get added to our deck, so maybe something comes of that, I don't know. This is another card I've been missing in this playthrough. Does damage, and then you can discard cards to draw more, discard knives and stuff, get extra benefit out of it. Emergency defense is pretty solid and maybe is worth taking here because it's upgraded. 20 block is normally what it gives, but 28 in this case is an awful lot, so we could do that. I think it's probably best to take more knife generation though, because they've been struggling on that a lot in this run, so both of these are really good. So, Soul Gem, if you visit Yukari, you gain one of every base color of mana at the start of the fight, so your opening turn can be really explosive. Whereas the Secret Cloak, for every card that's in your hand at the end of the turn, you gain 1 block. Very, very good for generation effects, which is basically where we're at right now. Both are incredibly good, but I think I would like to take the Cloak, so that's what we'll do. Alright, what do we sit on? 262. I kind of want to go visit the shop, but I also don't know if I'm going to have enough funds to make it worthwhile. So, let me just quickly check. What have we got that I would want to upgrade? There's a lot, right? Because there's been another struggle this run, is like upgrade stuff has been bad. I maybe don't have enough no, I have a lot of defense cards. I've got like 10. Thinking maybe I don't have enough defense, but I kind of do. It's weird. This is probably the best one that I would want to upgrade right now, because it gives you an extra rainbow and draws an extra card, but we could do that at the end. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't normally do this, but I think I'm actually gonna go for the shop here. See what we can do. Ah, this is the worst event. I was hoping for a hoping for the one that would at least give a misfortune, but this is the worst event we could have had here. So this is your like take a bunch of damage, gain things event, and man, is it not good for what we have right now. You lose like 10% of your max life rounded down, and you always lose at least a bit for the ending bit here. I mean, I guess we can get a bit more money for the shop, so yeah, we'll take some. And when you go below half health, it gets a bit more dire over here as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I really don't want to. I don't want to take any more because we're already looking very scary. Like half health right now is not a good spot to be in, especially not when you get these idiots. Oh, this is the end. It's not the end, but it's terrifying nonetheless. I think we maybe saw these in the previous run with Marisa. No, we saw them twice with Reimu, that's what it was. We had a really good deck with Reimu, but essentially you can never do more than 1 damage to these at a time, which makes them incredibly irritating to get through. You do get a tips back at the start, and you can either add shoots that replenish themselves, you can gain 20 barrier, or you can gain 10 life. It is very tempting to take the life here. I might just take the barrier because I really am short in terms of defensive options though. If I just take no damage from the fight in general, maybe I can get through this reasonably. So I think that's the best thing to do. Okay, what else can we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's pitch those two. So get extra plate in the hand, because this will just be more damage that we can deal. And then we'll astrology for... Definitely not that. We have a draw in hand as well, so I do need to keep that in mind. Yeah, we can... Tunnel does damage. We'll with these as well. That's 3 attack cards played, so the extra spirit means our blocks are more effective, which is useful. We'll go for the purchase. Deflation World, you say? Okay, that could be useful. Let's play the Ron card, see what we get. 18 block. Pretty handy in this situation. Yeah, we'll take that. Don't think there's a card I really need to retain here. I suppose the real question then is like how much block do I need? 6x2, so it's like 24 on the opening thing. So if I do this on this card, because we might need that next turn, and then everything else we can just kind of play out, right? Get that. Get that. I probably should have just discarded it with Deflation Mode, actually. Thinking about it, but it's fine. Because if I discard Deflation Mode, then it could have been kept in the deck for later, is really what I'm thinking, but it's not that important. Got a decent amount of damage out turn 1. Okay. Use the block first, because then none of our other cards have got color on them. Use the rainbow so we can actually play Remove Impurity. So now this card's 0, which is really good. So we'll get our knives and use our drawer to see what we can do from here. Lightning Laser is probably the best one that we got from there. So we can use that. Gain more barrier, gain more block. And I guess it doesn't really matter. These using the shoot is the thing. It's like, yeah, upgrading them doesn't really matter either, so we'll just do that. Now we have enough blocks so we don't take damage off the moon rabbit, of the other moon rabbit. Have to step it up. She's got the Purify module on, so if she hits me with an attack, one of my mana gets purified the next turn, which is Not stellar, we will say. Bleh, I don't know. We got a lot of barrier, so that's at least good. I guess we'll go room cleaning, discard the impurity, because I can't really play that here. Travel prep is probably fine. Firepower doesn't do anything, so that's not a problem. Ludo Bile could be okay. Misdirection I think is too expensive, and this is probably too expensive as well, with what we have here. Yeah, so we go Ludo, because that actually could be quite useful here. Elegant Maid to get 4 knives. And then we can't play this because we don't have any mana left for that, which is fine. Let's gain the little bit of block that we can. Go from there. Do want to actually play the card there because we get Burst. Burst doesn't matter for the damage here, but it might matter for the other bit of getting extra rainbow mana. Because yeah, she just kind of purified like 3 of my mana, which is very uncool, might I add. But it's okay, because we can get burst mode now, so we get rainbow mana back. Not that I think we can do too much with it here, but it's still something to know. Yeah, random target on the other enemy. I mean, rainbow could be good here. Unfortunately, my nice recursion is not a good not a good one to have around for this. Inflation World could be reasonable. Guard Up is also fine, but I think we're taking damage this, like, we've got... Oh, Guard Up could actually be good because we've got a lot of block, right? Yeah, that's actually fine, because we can use that here. And then this still gives us extra knives. And from there, it's fine, because we'll do damage. And Time Pulse takes her out. Chat.LazyRabbit is one of the running jokes that we have in our stream, because yeah, it just is the way it is. What I should have done, I think, actually, is use shoot on the on this rabbit, because then the knife would have killed and I would have had extra mana. So I think that might have been the better play, but didn't think of it until afterwards. Oh well. Let's go bunch of card draw. We can generate a lot of knives. That's good. How many cards we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to play... I really want to play Lightning Laser, but I don't think I have space for it. I wanted to save Wandering Heaven until afterwards, but I really don't think that matters anyway. So do that. And then, yeah, we go Misdirection in... Oh, I don't have the mana for Maid now. Oops. My bad. Yeah, I should have probably looked at which mana I was playing for what. It's hard to keep track of sometimes. We could have done more damage that turn if I'd have used Elegant Maid, for sure. So, I missed out on that one, that's for sure. None of these really do anything for me here. Trick Bullets, I suppose, is decent. Draws a card, gives the thing as well. She's gonna upgrade Distribute Snacks, so she's gonna have another healing thing as well, which is annoying. Yeah, let's just take this then. And go Short Break into... I suppose it'd probably be okay to play Remove Impurity here. Yeah, because it's like it could hit this and that'd be really strong, or it could hit... I mean, if it hit Knife of Damocles, I would still be able to get knives into my deck, so that wouldn't have been too bad. If it hit the barrier card, it would have cost 0, so that would have been very good. Oh no, she gained firepower, not the healing thing. So now she's doing 66 damage this turn. Yeah, I am reading that right. That is, as they say, a heckin' large amount of damage. It's not great, that's what it is. Dang. I think we might actually need more mana here for her. So I think Burst is probably going to have to happen. It's very, very much not good. Good lord. This fight really does get kind of excessive. If I use Guard Up, that will let me defend against most of it, right? 33 barrier, so around 45. This gets us up to 66, so I can defend against all of it, which is great. Let's get our throwing knives. And draw. Draw 2, discard these 2. Getting our extra little bit of help, because we need all the help we can get here, let's be honest. And then I think Deflation World is probably the best play. Discards the knife instead, and now I could have probably had one extra spirit as well. But now we've got a fair amount of block. We still have 36 barrier, but this just keeps going and going and going. Now it is doing... Okay, it wasn't doing as much as I thought. It was actually like 56, but whatever. It's doing 26 plus 24. Yeah, I maybe exaggerated how much it was doing, but it's fine. Who cares? Who's counting anyway, right? Point is, we still survived, and actually didn't take damage there, which is good. Got a life heal back from the Peony too, so... Lunar Cycle is a pretty good card, especially pre-upgraded. Pretty good card to get here. 15 block, draw a card. Used to draw 2 cards, but they nerfed it because it was too strong. But the key thing is every time you draw it, it costs 1 less here. So it eventually is like 1 blue, 15 block, draw a card. And by eventually, I mean that's only after a couple of uses. So it's great. Oh, about time you showed up. Alright, Dangerous Illusionist is one I've really wanted because I wanted to do the Time Ball stuff a lot more here. Also, beer! Literally, just beer. Yeah, so this gains Time Pulse, and will probably be my final upgrade too. Darmoku Study used to be an attack. It used to do damage and then gain barrier if it overdrived, but it doesn't do that anymore. The scroll... Very, very loud. Sorry for if that comes through on the mic. Very loud people outside because they're super annoying. The Sutra over here, if you play your spell card, gives you extra mana, which is really good. Then the Peony Stone does damage. This used to do 5 damage, but it got buffed to 6. So, guess that's kind of cool. I don't have any Misfortunes in my deck at the moment, right? I do not. So, I might not actually have to do remove card here. I don't need a third Dazzling Dash, diminishing returns and whatnot here. Base of Taiko is actually interesting too, specifically because we're fighting Sanai. Because she does generate a lot of block and barrier in her fight, so being able to do double attack, like a double attack, is pretty good. Taking the Sutra, 100%. I would love to take the beer because this is very, very powerful. Don't think I'm going to have the capability of doing that. I want Dangerous Illusionist because getting extra knives and getting power for those knives is really good. Is it worth taking? I guess it could be. It could well be worth it. I think taking this as well, given my dire situation in terms of health here, is probably good too. It's whether this is worth taking now or if it's better to save the money. Or maybe Time Pulse is just a better one as well. No, we'll take it. Go for that. Maybe that's the wrong decision. I don't know. I don't know if there's a right decision to go with for it, but whatever. Shiki! I think we're okay with this one. Both of them take 30 at the start of the fight, which is good. And this gives us the early play. Right, yeah, we take no damage on this opening turn, so I think we should be fine. Let's just go straight in with Dazzling Dash here, actually. Just gain the firepower immediately. And see, what are we drawing? I'm probably okay with Impatience, I just need that to be the last card I use. So let's skip those for now. Tunneling is good. So is Room Cleaning. We don't need Counter Darmoku this turn. Tunneling will be fine. Start with that? Start with that. Do some extra damage, and then draw with this one. We don't have any coloured costs in the hand at the moment, apart from this, so that's reasonable. Let's do Room Cleaning to discard the knife, draw 2, then upgrade those cards, that's good. I'd be okay with removing the cost of that, so let's do this then. Short break, get ourselves a rainbow. Maybe should have used that before the discard actually. Could have upgraded this, got an extra mana. point out all the mistakes I can as I go, just because, you know, it's important to keep yourself honest with these things, I suppose. Gain the life, because we do kind of need that. Probably gain the mana here as well, actually. I think I will want that by the end of this turn. Use the black mana, because we don't need that for anything else. And do our final card draw. Get Water Plate. Okay, that's respectable. Shiki's got Lock on at the moment, so we should probably do the damage there where we can. Yeah, Knife Gen. Seems like the next best bet. I want to use Travel Prep, but I have too many cards in hand at the moment. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do, so let's use... It's really tempting to use it. I will. We'll use 1 rainbow on the ship, because that way it counts as a red, so we get the charge as well. Go for Travel Prep. I'm draw negated, right? Yeah, that's fine. We'll still get the knives off, get our colorless back, and Elegant Maid. Get more knives. I guess we should just use the block at this point. So, ooh, now see, this is a really interesting card too that we just haven't had access to yet. Actually attacking with a throwing knife will apply lock on. Also is a turn-ending card, so that can be quite nice too. Let's just go play with water though, because we'll probably want that for the following turn. And yeah. Do a whole ton of damage. Almost take Shiki out in a single turn. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. Take nothing from our attack there. It's good. Okay. So from here, I think we just go Dangerous Illusionist. I probably should have saved a red mana for that, actually, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Dangerous Illusionist, Imaginary Timeline. If I'd have saved a mana, I'd have had an extra charge point here, which is what I should have been looking at, but it's fine. Also, if I did it the other way round, I guess I would have had the red mana to use for the stuff here. Yeah, that turn could have been played better. That's fine. Sakuya's going defense this turn. She is going to do damage to us if we play another couple of cards, so I probably should keep that in mind as well. Lightning Laser is looking pretty tempting as a result. Let's see what we get from the Ran card here. Tengu Decree is pretty good. Yeah, we'll take that. I think that's going to have to be played, unfortunately, that's going to have to be played after Lightning Laser, though. Let's, because I want to not take damage off of the lockdown. So we do that. Now, time she gets hit, which includes the couple of knives here, we gain block. Doesn't matter this turn, because she's not damaging us, but it will matter for every other turn that we play here. So, that's useful. Knife of Damocles is good. Lunar Cycle is probably the first thing to do here. Kind of want to use just 2 blue, actually. Again, would rather save the red so I can use it for an attack. Unfortunately, we get that after I use 2 blue. Whatever. Still get a charge point. We're on 1 charge point before we enter Burst, so that's useful. And then, yeah, I guess we've just got enough to do the block and add the knives, so we'll do that. Okay, what can we do from here? We can enter burst mode, which is good. Enter burst means we can then use bouncing knife for 0, which is solid. Yeah, seems good to me. Because that's the only colorless, only color card and thing, so we'll do that. And now we have a lot of attacks, and I think this just kills her anyway. 74 damage. Burst plus Vulnerable is a really strong combo. We might get to see that with the Marisa B run when we get there. Tengu's Pom-Pom's a really good one to have for Sanae, because she's going to drain our spirit, so that's good. Finally get something like this, okay. Starry Sword Dance is it's an ability, so it is going to give Sanae more firepower, but it gives you a knife at the start of every turn. Stupidly strong. And yeah, look at this, now we're at 74 health, so we were looking kind of dangerous through some of that, but now it's actually looking really good. So I think we're fine from here. Alright, so Sanae. Sanae's gimmicks, she's got several of them. The first thing is every ability that you play gives her firepower. So some decks just get screwed by that. We have a lot of abilities in this deck, so we are kind of on a bad note there, but we'll make it through. And the other thing is that she has 3 amulets, so she negates like 3 debuffs in a row, which makes it super irritating to play the Knife of Damocles stuff on her right now. We're going to start, of course, with Dangerous Illusionist. Yeah, it gives her a firepower, but we want those knives in the deck. We want the Time Pulse to go off. So, definitely going to start there. Then it's a case of what else do we even want to do? We do want to get rid of the Astrologies. We don't necessarily want to keep them around beyond the first, like, turn. We could probably play Dazzling Dash. I think that's reasonable. And then we don't want to play this, but we will draw it so that it costs less later on in the fight. Seems reasonable. So let's go. Yep. Dazzling Dash gives her a second firepower, but now we've got firepower as well. Go for Lightning Laser and throw the knife. Not like the most impactful of turn 1s, I suppose, but it gives us barrier for later on. And that's important because she steals our barrier. Every time she plays a spell card, she reduces your spirit by 2. She gets that spirit, and then she blocks for 30 block, 30 barrier. She gained your spirit, so this is why it's 32-32. Every time she plays that spell card, your defense cards get worse, and her defense option here gets a lot better. It's very irritating, actually, truth be told. But oh well, such is the way. Okay, we can discard Knife and probably discard the Vignette. Her main attack is 8 times 4, and then her second attack is a decent bit times 2 ungrazable. I think we're probably getting rid of Wandering Block. Feels kind of bad. No, let's give it a Countdown Marquee. So the problem is that, like, after she does her thing, she also does a status on you as well, which I think is weaken, so your next attack does less. But she has, like, so much extra block here, too. It's really hard to punch through, which is what makes this so tricky. Let's see what we can draw from this. Quantum Tunneling, pretty respectable. I don't know if that actually works if it's exiled. Could be an interesting thought. Meditation could also be a thing, but really don't need that right now. Let's go for Tunneling. Gives an extra mana. I'm struggling to see like what we actually do as far as impact here. This might be the best time to use the bomb as much as I want to save it for later. But if we do that, we're gaining mana that we really just can't use right now. It's tough. I think I will, because I really just want to be able to draw extra cards here, and that's the main benefit. Okay, I think that worked out because now we can do a fair bit more drawing here. I want to use Ludobar, but I think it's best that I don't here. We'll not use Remove Impurity and probably just discard the Knife. Get some extra damage out that way. Let's go. I want to use the Starry Sword, even though it's going to make her stronger, because I really want the knives and stuff available. So yeah, it's putting even more damage out, but it's the best plan, I think, here. Tengu Decree is really good, but the problem is she's gonna remove that. Like, it doesn't affect her because she's got Amulet. That's the problem here. She still has 2 of those, and this is a debuff. so it's not actually going to affect her. I think it's putting more firepower on the table, but I think we take Dangerous Illusionist here. So 48 damage coming out this turn. We are on 34, so taking 14, but I think Deflation World is still the better thing to play here. Because we just really need to get going as much as we can. Taking 11 feels bad, but we'll get there. This hand does nothing. Wow. Yeah, okay, so it's not ×2, it's one hit, but 36 damage. 32 is the baseline. Yeah, it's tough. Not much more to say with it, it is just painful. We don't have mana to pay for Remove Impurity, so that's not going to matter here. It's just the debuff doesn't count, but at least the knives go in, so there's that going for us. And suddenly it's not looking so good, you know? So much output, it's wild. Alright, let's defend a little bit. Oh, you know, these are pretty good. Sculpture Circle is looking kinda tasty right now. Game block, do damage. Yeah, that's looking nice. Thankfully, because we are playing a lot of attacks per turns, our spirit is recovering, so that's one good thing we have in our favor. A short break to get the rainbow. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll use that. So now we can go Sculpture, do 20 damage, gain 18 block. So we're almost there. We're going to defend against most of the damage this turn. That's honestly kind of impressive, considering where we were. Unfortunately, can't quite manage to use like all of the worthwhile mana here. Let's just do the shoot anyway. We can at least get something out of that. I want to use another attack because then I gain an extra spirit. It's probably fine. Yeah, well, we can handle it. We're taking 12 this turn because yeah, we would take 2, but the spacesuit is for every hit. So it's still spooky, but we'll get there. Let's just add a ton of knives in and get our time pulse up here. Yeah, so our time pulse is going to do a ton at the end of turn now. Now, the other thing that she does is... Oh, wow, our hand is full. The other thing that she does is she intends... Eventually, she will heal for 100 as well, which is... yeah, just a little bit rude. Alright, we're weakened this turn, but I think we still go for burst anyway, so let's do it. Burst mode! Get as much output as we can from this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, count cards so we don't lose too much for it. Yeah, T-Brewing is fine here. We can draw most of the cards. One of them did kind of not happen there, but it's fine. Do we give her another attack power to gain more firepower? I think the answer to that is probably yes. Again, spooky, but if we just kill her quick enough, then it doesn't matter, right? That's the hope. This does 14 plus 10. Yes, this is more. If we do the regular hit here, then we'll get more out of our knives. And let's see it. Really close, but not quite there. So she gets 100 heal, and now she's going to do a mana draining card. But the thing with this, it means that she's not attacking me for 2 turns in a row. Also, yeah, one of the status cards she puts into the deck just makes you lose a random mana, which is also very rude. But it's fine. We'll survive. Not really getting a lot of damage out this turn, though, unfortunately. Oh well. What are you going to do, eh? So that means we're going to have to deal with another round of defense. thankfully, Time Pulse is working pretty well for us here. We have 53 Time Pulse now, so yeah, she's taking 53 damage at the end of this turn. That's honestly fine. And because we've had that Fox Mask Spirit and stuff, we've Fox Spirit Mask even, we haven't lost firepower here, which is I'm grateful for that. Don't know what I'd do if this fight was still relying on that bit, you know. Right, discard 2. No, it's discard 3. No, guard up. I think we can win this turn. Because I think we can generate enough for that. We have add more for burst. If I use the shoot with the red mana, then we get into burst mode, and now we do double damage. So from here, I think we just win. As we go discard a knife, does 20, everything gets upgraded, so now these knives cost 1, and we have so much that we can do with that. Yeah, this is fine from here. We will fire all of them, and I think that should just win the fight outright. Yeah, just fire 2 of them and it wins anyway. Time Pulse would have won too, because we had over 60 of it built up, so... Overpowered her, but... with 4 power short, really? That's annoying. So Sanai is green in terms of her mana base, so we could get the green color, have quad color on here. When you use this, when you get this one, you remove 2 cards from your thing, so that's pretty good. We could remove 2 of the basic attacks here. Might actually be worth it just because of that. The other options, the Zena cards, actually pretty good with what we took in terms of the Sutra. You add another black mana, or black mana in general, to the pool, so another one for quad color here. If we use a spell card, we lose 2 life, but we draw 5 cards, which, considering we gain 3 mana as well, 3 Philosopher's mana, that would be pretty good. And then the Fragments is quite nice, because we take a blue mana into the pool, and then we'll replace 2 of our cards with uncommons or rares. So, as nice as these ones are, I think because I've got a decent amount of blue still here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to replace my 2 basic attacks here. Or do I... No, I'm going to probably delete. 75, yeah, I'm probably going to delete the block. So we'll replace our attacks because I've got plenty of other attacks that I'm using here. Lunar Clock and Stone Stacking. Not the greatest, if I'm honest with you. But Stone Stacking's not great because we early. Lunar Clock means we don't do damage with attacks. We could still stack Time Pulse though, so maybe it's still okay. Blazing Star, Broken Timeline. I don't understand why Broken Timeline is a card, I'll be honest with you. It's a turn ender, so like an extra turn taker, which is fine, but you don't gain extra mana from your base at the beginning of the turn, which means that you basically just don't have mana for the extra turn. So what's the point? If you can keep mana aside, maybe. Maybe if you've got enough mana generation it can be okay, but we don't. This you get 2 uses of it, I guess, when you upgrade it, and it doesn't cost anything, so you can use it twice in a row. I suppose if you have like a million knives in your deck, it's probably fine, but nah, I'm gonna skip. The other 2 options, Blazing Star is an extra turn taker that means you don't lose block from that turn, but it makes every card you play in the extra turn cost 1 more, which is annoying. And Dreadful Raging Waves is like do a bit of damage to everything. If you've got temporary firepower, which we don't, do extra damage basically. Do it an extra time. Okay, Starry Sword Dance, probably the bank. Finally getting Winter Resolution too. That's probably worth taking. If we remove the block from the deck, up the top, we have 110, so we cannot take both of these. Very annoying, but we can take Starry Sword Dance in one of them. Let's go. I mean, yeah, we should take Starry Sword Dance then. Let's go for the one that doesn't cost anything. It's 25 block once. The other one does generate a knife, which is really good, but will survive. Yeah, Clock Corpse doing no damage is weird, but I guess if we generate knives, we'll probably still be fine. Wasn't the greatest of places, I think, with the blue tool here, but I guess it could be worse. Okay, So we're not taking any damage on this opening turn because we have the spacesuit. So the scissor blade doesn't matter here. So let's just see what else we can get. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I don't need this. But I also wouldn't mind drawing it for later. It retains, so no, we take it anyway. And then the other one? Dazzling Dash? Just gain firepower at the start here? Yeah, it's probably fine. So, we want to do this one first. Knife of Damocles to get vulnerable on her, so we do more damage. Then Tunneling. 27 is pretty reasonable as far as an early damage output goes, so happy enough with that. And now the only problem is I can't play Maid and Strengthen Body in the same turn, but I think that's okay. If we go Lightning Laser, we'll gain some barrier. That probably should have been the last thing I did actually, because the barrier will still get hit. Oh well. Generate, and just Knife, I suppose. Yeah. Actually used Impurity there, potentially. I think I'm probably... No, I don't think I had... No, I had Rainbow. I could have used it on that. Yeah, from the Quantum Tunneling, but whatever. Of course you take the cup first. Okay, so the Decorated Cup removes all of your exhibits, which means if I want to gain benefit off of the Sutra, I have to use it this turn. Thankfully, I think we can reasonably do that, and it should be okay, but it means we don't have the spacesuit for the rest of the fight too, and we also won't have the Fox Mask to gain more spirit. So, kinda tough, to be honest, but most of the rest of our stuff is okay, so I think we'll be fine. Let's go... I do want to use that red for an attack here. So, let's... Oh, this one's interesting. Wait, we could actually still play that. Throw Knife is played, apply Lock On. We could. It means I'm going to take an awful lot of damage back, but we could. That might be worth it. Yeah, we'll keep it around, because I think that might be the play. If I play Wandering Heaven, then I could upgrade it too, which would be quite nice. Let's just use the shield now. Do I use... this question from here. Do I use the knife? What does it... Does this upgrade to reduce cost? I don't remember. It does not. You put 8 knives in that. Oh boy. Because if I use the bomb, then I can get extra mana, right? That's the other thing here. I think I want to have this around to use. So let's draw as much as we can. Those are some pretty good things to draw to. Oh, because part of me wants to upgrade it. But then I don't have enough mana to play it as well. Unfortunate. I really want to have Time Pulse available for it first. It's only applying 1 lock-on. Does it apply 2? No, it still only does 1. Okay, okay. Kind of overthinking it a little bit here. I think we're just going to go for the Illusionist to get the Time Pulse stuff going. Go for the bomb so we get the extra mana, and I'm going to play the extra time card. And go from there. We're going to lose our block, which is a little annoying because we don't get to keep that, don't get to have that back. So we are going to take a fair bit of damage, but we get to throw 4 of these knives at her immediately, which is going to do progressively more damage as we go. And sets up very nicely for the rest of the fight. She snaps away all of our exhibits. We've gotten as much as we can out of them at this point. And yeah, take like 27, but that's okay. Right, so from here, definitely want Ready for Bed. See, the fact of attacks do no... It's so weird. Like, attacks do no damage in that extra turn. It's like, why? You know? But we could play it. Just gain the extra turn again. Whilst... I mean, but she's not going to take damage, so is there a point to it? I mean, I guess we could just try and get better defense cards. Yeah, we'll do it. Extra turn. Why not? Well, didn't really get a lot of defense, but sure. So yeah, time break. Can't deal damage this extra turn. If you have an amulet, you could probably block that debuff from happening, actually, which is pretty nice. Okay, see what we can do. The Reclusive Sage, that's a really interesting one to have out of this, actually. We could make that cost nothing, too. The end of your turn, add a False Moon to the hand, or to the draw pile, sorry, which basically lets you copy one of the cards in your hand. Yeah, I will take that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want to do this into that, and then travel prep. I mean, I guess we're just discarding 2 knives. Kind of feels bad, but... Oh, the knives still do damage when they do... Oh, that's the point. See, I haven't played with this card very much, so I guess that's the point, is the knives will do damage when they get discarded, because they're not playing an attack, I guess? That's so weird. Anyway, remove Impurity to get rid of that, so now this only costs 2. So we'll get a False Moon into the deck at the end of the turn, which is good. And then, yeah, since there's no point in actually playing the attack, I guess we're just floating the mana here. Do we want to get rid of them? Nah. Do Time Pulse, and do a little bit of extra damage. So we've got a lot of damage onto her, but we're also taking an awful lot here too. Yeah, we have like one more attack in us. We got to get it down in 2 turns. But I think that's going to happen based on what we have here. Like, we should be able to do this. So, we'll Lunar Cycle, so we get the block first. That way we can keep ourselves alive whilst we play cards. It's always good. Get some extra Time Pulse going here. And I think it is just do Barrier and 1 knife here. So we need to do like 220 damage here. That's probably not happening, but we do have some barrier at least. Especially not happening when she summons, because this is going to distract the knives away from her. Not particularly happy with that. So, here's what the False Moon is. For 1 blue mana, you choose a card in hand, add a copy of it to the hand, it costs 0, exile Ethereal. If it is an ability or something you copy, then basically it makes the original a copy as well, so that you can't spam abilities with this. But yeah, pretty solid. So let's see. Quantum Tunneling will be accurate, which is good. So that's probably the first thing that should get done. I really want Knife of Damocles to be used as well, though. I also would like to upgrade these before I use them, because they cost 0 at that point, so we want to use Room Cleaning on a knife before I start using the False Moons. So again, it's like all of this is just order of operations. Let's go for knife first, because then if Quantum Tunneling hits her, it'll be better. Yeah, I didn't hit her, but that's fine because it gets rid of a Graith. So this guy's going to die to the knives, which is pretty good. Now we want to go Room Cleaning to discard a knife, draw 2, upgrade everything in the hand. So now these cost 0, and now we can start making duplicates of stuff. Stone stacking is probably the next thing that needs to get played, so we'll do that. And now we can go False Moon on purchase materials, which means we can just have like a bazillion mana off of this now, is the idea. However, it can only be done once, right? Because now this is a copy, which is a shame. I thought it was only for abilities. Wait a minute. Hang on, let's cancel this out. I thought it was only for abilities. Or has exile. Right, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the purchase materials does have exile. Kind of forgot about that little note. Oh well, it's fine. So we still get 6 mana out of it for just paying 1, which is really good. So let's use this one because this one's going to go away. Ah, we overdrew because we had knives. That's fine. Okay. We could still get everything we need, more or less. If I use this one, add the rainbow, then we can use the false moon on the rainbow and still get a decent amount of mana out of it. So now, yeah, we have two rainbows to get 4 mana out of. Obviously, every card that we play, we do take an extra point of damage to our shield and whatnot, so, like, that's the thing. But now, yeah, we just go for this, and we can draw an extra 3, and still have a lot. And 8 rainbow mana to play with now. We are on 6 charge, so if I play 2 attacks, then I get into burst mode, get an extra 3 mana off. So that is also probably something. Or I could just use the ready for burst, right? So we do that, get into burst mode, now we do double damage as well. And I think from here we just straight attack her and knock her out, right? Because vulnerable plus double damage, 36. And then this goes 56 per knife. So yeah, and lock on obviously makes it do more as it goes. So we'll just take her out with the knives. Yeah, a weird turn, but that's what happens when you get 2 cards that give you copy stuff in there as well. Yeah, that was terrifying. Some of that really did not go very well. I thought Yuko was going to have us for sure, and that was a surprise to me because honestly Yuko isn't normally the one that tends to beat us. But this deck was awkward and certainly didn't have all of the stuff that I would have liked in it, but it had enough, I guess. Sakuya A is just weird. Like, the knives can be very powerful into regular enemies and stuff, and sometimes they're really good into bosses, but sometimes it's just like you really don't have a win con, as weird as that sounds. There are definitely cards that you can get which make this stuff a win con, but this was not one of those runs. Anyway, yeah, that is the Sakuya thing here. Pretty interesting, to say the least. At least we got to see Quantum Tunneling, because that's a really good red Sakuya card. I might have to, like, do another one of these at some point where we actually see the red Sakuya stuff a bit more, because Ripper and Fog, as you saw in the one fight that we got it randomly, is an insane card, and really would have been nice to have seen more of. But, you know, sometimes you just don't get the cards that you want. And I think it was the similar thing with the Marisa run too, where there was a couple of cards that really could have helped to make this a bit better, but it's fine. You're not always going to get the perfect deck. That's what the random aspect of this is for. Anyway, if you've made it through all of this, an absolutely insane file size with this one. It's going to take a while getting this up. If you made it through all of this, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully it has been an interesting run. And until next time, where we find out how Cherno plays, we'll see you then.